Shalom, Israel. Mic check. Put sevens in the chat if you can hear me. If you can hear me, put sevens in the chat.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Mic check. Can everybody hear me? Is my mic low? Happy Sabbath to everybody. Sorry for the late start. Is my mic a little low? Okay, calm. Shalom, Donovan. Good to have you. Bow Prospect in the building. All praises. Good to see you. I recognize you. All praises to everybody that's tapping in on another beautiful Sabbath. I'm happy that everybody's here. Salakia for the little delay. I was coming off a fast, so I had to eat some grapes and drink some water real quick. So y'all forgive me for being a little late. Oh, thank you. Don't crucify me. Don't crucify me. I didn't know the head was. I didn't pay attention. Don't crucify me. It's off. It's off. But all praises to the Most High. We here. And I hope everybody's enjoying their night. All right. Without further ado, man, I had another class in mind, but the Lord kind of put this one on my heart. Through the Spirit. So if you guys pay attention to the title of the class is "You Think You Know Pain." All right. This is something the Lord, put on my heart to kind of discuss tonight. And I hope that this is edifying to all that may be tapping in and watching this. Whoever that this resonates with, I hope that this resonates with you, and you can take some type of spiritual principle from it. Okay. Let's get the book of Job. Let me pull this out real quick. Let me see. Job and I think 9. Yeah, Job. Actually, 15. Let's go to Romans 15:4 first. Romans 15:4.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So it says, whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. All right. So we're going to gather some wisdom principles today from our forefathers. Let me see. It's one in Job I want. I think is it Job 9? Let me see. Job chapter 9. Let me see if it's 9. Let me see. Is it Job 9? Or is it Job 8? Oh, yeah, Job 8 and 8. Yeah, go read that in Job 8. Yeah, read Job 8 and 8.
The book of Job, chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
So the scripture says, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age. Okay. So the Most High wants us to inquire about the times past. And it says, and prepare thy search of thy fathers, right? So we have to go into the search of our fathers. Sometimes it's important to go back into these stories that we read about when you talk about David, when you talk about Noah, when you talk about all the great men that came before us. Sometimes it's important to gather information from them and attribute that to our lives. when you talk about great women like Susanna and all of the great women that was before us, and you want to look at the things that they went through and the struggles that they went through, because I'm gonna be very blunt and quite frankly, I think Israel is very soft. All right. That's not to say that Israel doesn't go through things. I believe that we are going through our own individual battles. We are going through our battles, but I truly believe that we are so pampered in America that little things rattle us in our walk, right? Little things rattle us and make us weak. And sometimes I'm looking at Israel, and I'm looking online, I'm looking at social media, and I'm looking at the complaints from the community. And you got women mad at men because maybe their husbands did them wrong, or you got men going at men, and people falling in and out of the truth, for whatever reasons and differences, and people complaining about how they had a better life when they were out of the truth, and now they in the truth and they got this hard life. But in reality, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. In reality, this your problems are nothing. You know what I mean? Your problems are nothing, and that's not to demean anybody. All right, this is not to demean anybody, but your problems are nothing. You're actually soft, though. You know what I mean? I have to be honest. Community is very soft when you got brothers that's easily rattled, and it causes them to not be able to do the work because of their financial stability, or their wife, their spousal, or they can't pay their bills, or I can't survive because I don't know what to do, and I'm looking at some people, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because you do have some people that have worse problems than others. So I don't want to just say there's not tragedy that happens in life, but sometimes, brothers and sisters, sometimes your problems are trash. It's really nothing. Sometimes, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, sometimes I look at some brothers that complain about their life, and I'm like, you don't even got kids. Like, you complaining and you don't got kids? Like, it's just you. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna talk specifically to my brothers tonight. We a soft generation. My grandfather came from a generation where he was driving tractor trailers at like 10 years old. 10 years old, my grandpa driving tractor trailers in the field. We sad because we couldn't pick up extra work. Like, that's weak. And brothers and sisters gotta tighten up in this truth, man. You gotta tighten up. Sometimes, there are problems that are like, okay, that's a real problem, but some of your problems, y'all gotta tighten up, man. We are the softest generation. Kids in the 60s is tougher than the men today. The era of the 50s, where America was going through its Great Depression, those eras, man, them kids was tougher than us today. And it's strategically done. Making us soft is strategically done with the chemicals and the things that they put in our foods. They put a whole bunch of estrogen things in our food and want to make us soft. They want to make us docile. A lot of us wasn't raised with our fathers. We was raised with our mamas. So any type of controversy, we quick to run. Like, you think you know pain? You don't know pain. You don't know what pain is. You ain't even got to the point of no return in America yet. We still living good. You still got a roof over your head. Brothers and sisters are quick to turn on the Most High and are weak in this truth. So what we're going to do today is we're going to prepare the search of our fathers, and we're going to read their stories, and you're going to see tonight that your problem is nothing when it comes to serving the Most High. Your problem is nothing when it comes to doing the work of the Most High. We have to do better with this truth, Israel. We have to handle this truth better, Israel. I want y'all to pay attention tonight. It's going to be real. It's going to get greedy tonight. We have to, though. You understand? We have to. men and women alike, but specifically my brothers, but sisters too. You have sisters that are so weak in this truth. You got sisters that are very weak in this truth. You know what I mean? To where they can't even survive because they can't stomach the fact that they can't wear pants. You know, things like that. That's weak. We have to gird our loins. So we're gonna read, and again, this is to encourage you and to let you know that maybe your problems, and this is not for everybody, but maybe your problems are not as bad as you would think they are. Maybe, just maybe, you're just in your head. Just maybe. Just maybe you might just be in your head. And the things that you deem as tough in your life is really not that tough. Versus somebody else's life that going through way worse than what you're going through. You know, baby problems, like you by yourself, you're a bachelor man, and I just can't get my mind together. But listen, brothers, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You're a bachelor man, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids. I mean, it's just you. What are you confused about? What are you confused about? I'm just trying to understand. What if you're a young man with no kids and you in this truth, you don't got no kids, you don't got no real responsibilities, you got a cool job, you eat every day. What are you tripping about? Ratazan, I just my mind and I don't know. What do you not know? I'm confused. I don't know what to not know. Like not know what? I just don't want. I'm just confused in my life. Well, be a man. Sit in alone time and meditate on the Lord and see, because a lot of times the reason why you confused like that is because you're not doing something for the Lord. So that's the first thing you got to do. You got to figure out what is it that the Most High, because the Most High said this. Let's read this real quick. I didn't put this in the lesson. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me read this. Let's go to Deuteronomy 29. No. Go to Psalm 71 and 11. All right, wait, let me see. Hold on one second. Let me double check. All right. Get Deuteronomy 31 and 8. Deuteronomy, yeah, 31 and 8.
God, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 8.
Read.
And the Lord, he it is that doth go before thee.
The Lord goes before you. So you won't have nothing to worry about if you're doing everything that the Lord is commanding you to do, no matter if your life look grim or not. No matter if your life look grim or not. He said the Lord goes before you. Read.
He will be with thee. He will not fail thee. Neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed.
You see that? He says you will not be dismayed. He will not forsake you. He will not forsake you. He will not. So at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you are tougher. You come, brothers, you guys come from a man that wrestled with an angel. Let this give you power, brothers. Let this give you power tonight, my brothers and my sisters, but specifically my brothers tonight. Let this get you power. You came from a man, a long line of men that survived in treacherous and tumultuous times. You came from men that had to hunt for their food. You came, the ancestors that you descend from had to hunt, had to gather, didn't eat every day, didn't know when that next meal was coming, didn't have a 9-to-5 job. They had to go get it on their own. slept on stone, slept in tents. You come from a long line of men that survived and became something. Why are you nothing? Doesn't make any sense. When the same energy that was flowing in them is the same energy that is flowing in you. The reason for it being is Esau has beat you down, made you soft, made our men soft. But you, the truth of the matter is, what's in your DNA, you have something powerful. The reason why everybody is breathing today is because your ancestors fought to be here. And you are a disgrace to your ancestors because you are whimpering because you cannot pay your bills. That's terrible. You are whimpering. You come from a long line of men that were survivors and that were stone cold warriors mentally. You think what you going through is pain. That's why I titled this, You Think You Know Pain. You think you know pain? You don't know pain. Pain to you is you can't go out to Wingstop. That's pain to you. Pain is, well, I can't eat Wingstop. Eat bread. Eat bread. Your pain is you can't buy Jordans. That's your pain. Your pain is you feel like you're not seen, you're not heard. As a man, you shouldn't want to be seen and heard. You should put the work in, and the work should let you be seen and heard. A lot of y'all is soft, man. A lot of y'all want the accolades and y'all want the pampering, and then you get soft when you join a camp. You get soft because you feel like nobody's looking at you, and then you lose the spirit because you just want that attention, man. F that attention. You supposed to work. Your work is supposed to display attention. You ain't supposed to as a man, you ain't supposed to naturally get attention. You're not supposed to a man is supposed to walk in any organization that he joined in a camp and naturally get attention. I feel I'm being unappreciated. No, you're not working. You soft. Soft. I'm going to be candid tonight, man. Y'all got to toughen up. You think you know pain? You don't know nothing yet. If we live to see Jacob's trouble, which we're in it already, but if we live to see it spike up, a lot of y'all not gonna last. Let's get some brothers. Let's get some righteous men. Let's go to Genesis chapter 19. You think you know pain? Let's go to our forefathers. Let's study and prepare the search of our forefathers like Job. Let's see what they had to deal with. Let's see what they had to go through. And let's examine. I want everybody here tonight, and you might have somebody that go through some real hard times. I'm not trying to say that there is not no people that go through real hard. There are actual people that got real hard lives, but it ain't the majority of y'all. Let's just keep it a buck. You do. Y'all ever met that one person at school when you was in school and you was like, damn, that person got just a hard life? There is some people that just got hard lives. There is. But it ain't the majority of y'all. And I'm not going to pamper. We're going to be honest tonight. The community got to toughen up. The community has to toughen up. All right. Hold on one second. Let me see what's going on here. Hold on one second. I might have to what the heck is going on?
Yeah, Khan,
Yeah, go ahead. You
talking about Jacob's trouble. I was just watching The Purge the other day. Hey, we can't be soft in that time of era. We got to be able to lock in, especially as men. We got to be able to know a game plan, and we can't let little things beat us up. We just got to pray on it and keep moving.
Khan, absolutely. All right, let's go from there. Read that in Genesis real quick. Put sevens in the chat if y'all can hear me. Just want to make sure. Put sevens in the chat if y'all can hear me. Make sure everything is good. Put sevens in the chat if y'all can hear me. And then we're going to read that Genesis 19 and start at verse Start at verse 4.
Gone. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 4.
I read.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the
So
men
this
of
is
Sodom,
Lot, right? A lot of you guys might be familiar with the story a lot. Some of you guys probably read over the story a lot. Some of you guys probably didn't even really dig deep into the story a lot. Some of you guys probably didn't read the story a lot and dig deep into the psyche of what Lot had to go through. Some of y'all probably just read over a lot. Some of you guys probably never read the story a lot. Some of you guys probably just heard the story a lot. Let's actually get a deep dive in Lot. Let's see what Lot had to go through mentally. We're gonna have a mental deep dive. We're gonna take a mental deep dive of these stories today in the psyche of our forefathers that came before us, right? So let's read that. Read 4 again.
gone. The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 4.
Read.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
So they surrounded his house. So Lot was visited by 2 angels because Abraham prayed, because Sodom and Gomorrah was a wicked town, and Abraham prayed for Lot to be saved out of that city. So 2 angels visited Lot. The men of that town were so wicked that they surrounded Lot's house when they found out that it was 2 men that came to visit. Old, young men, old and young alike. From a child to middle-aged man to old men, they all surrounded Lot's house. You don't know pain. Let's read.
Verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night?
Where are the men that came into you this night? Where are they at? Read.
Bring them out unto us,
Read.
that we may know them.
It says, bring the men out so we can rape them. Put yourself in Lot's shoes. You think you know pain? Oh, you can't pay a bill, and oh, you know, my dad yelled at me, and oh, my mom is mad at me for the truth, and you know, y'all complain about little stuff like that. Put yourself in Lot's shoes. Imagine you was at home and you got visited by 2 men, and the city was so weak that the whole city surrounded where you lived, banged on your door and said, hey, bring those men out so we can rape them. This is what Lot had to deal with. Lot was a real man. He was a real person. This is what he had. Can you imagine the stress and the fear that Lot must have felt? We're not talking about 10 people. Imagine if 10 people came to your door and knocked on your door and asked you, bring whoever out so we can rape them. Let alone the whole entire city. So you got a whole entire city at your door. That's like having a parade at your door. What are you going to do? So let's see what Lot said. Read.
Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
So Lot still maintained his righteousness in terms of like, look, don't do this wicked deed. Lot had to have guts to even stand up. You know what I mean? Lot had to use guts to even stand up. Watch this. Read.
Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man.
Imagine that. Lot was so desperate. He was like, I have 2 daughters that have not known men. Lot was such at a mental fragile state that he was willing to give his daughter. I mean, and it was angels of the Lord on top of that, but Lot was willing to, he was like, look, I got my daughters in here, like, but you trying to rape these men because these are the angels of the Lord. Watch this. Read.
Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as
Imagine
is good.
what type of back against the wall position is that when you offers your daughters. Imagine what type of mental tribulation he was going through to where he had to offer his daughters to these men. He had to offer his daughters to these men. Can you imagine the psyche of that? The fear he must have felt, because he's in a rock and a hard place. He knows that these are messengers of the Lord, but at the same time, he's scared of these men outside. So he's like, look, you can take my daughter. So imagine, I know we reading it, but just to put yourself in Lot's shoes. Put yourself in his shoes. He don't know what's going on right now. He don't know what to do right now. His back against the wall. Watch this. Let's keep reading. Read.
And do ye to them as it is good in your eyes.
Read.
Only unto these men do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn,
Mm-hmm.
and he will needs be a judge.
Read.
Now will we deal worse with thee than with them.
They like, if you don't get out the way, Lot, if you don't move out the way, we're going to deal with you worse than what we're going to. Y'all would have folded. That's crazy. He said that's some Fleece Johnson stuff. Y'all would have folded. Y'all, you think you know pain? Imagine what Lot is thinking right now. That's why I'm like, sometimes you got to go back and you got to read about your forefathers and you got to see what they went through. Your little bills, your funky bills ain't nothing. Your bills ain't nothing. You complaining about nothing. You don't know pain. I would even say our ancestors just 200 years ago, they know pain. Waking up a slave every day. You don't know pain, Israel, in 2025. You don't know pain. You don't. Just going back 200 years ago when our forefathers was in chattel slavery. You don't know pain. You got more opportunities. We have more opportunities right now because the Lord lessened our punishment. We have more opportunities right now to get our lives together. We have no excuse but to put in the work of the Most High. You don't know pain. You don't know pain. Stop telling yourself you're going through pain. You don't know pain. Well, I'm just going through. Rata, don't understand what the Lord is telling me. The Lord is telling you to be a man. Lock in. Suck it up. Stop crying. Stop. And I'm not saying literally crying, but just the whining and pouting, like, especially for men. Come on. We got to get better. You're not going through nothing. You didn't wake up in the morning and see your baby girl sold off to a white slave owner. What are you crying about? What are you sad about? You know what goes in my mind? God forbid. But worse coming to worse, let's say I lose everything. I lose my house. I lose everything. Worse come to worse, I got a mother-in-law that'll let me live there. Worse come to worse, and we gonna eat every day. Worse come to worse, we eat every day. Worse come to worse. Man, we don't get rattled in hard times. You gotta lock in, fellas. So Lot had a city of wicked men. We're not talking about 5 and 6, 7 dudes. We have a city of wicked men. And let's see what happened with Lot. Lot mental stability is not going to be all the way there after this. Read.
And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
Read.
But the men put forth their hands.
So they was like, look, we about to break down your door. We about to kick in your door. Read.
And pulled Lot into the house to them,
so
and
the
shut to the door.
Lot in, and then what did they do? Read.
And shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
Read.
And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them.
So imagine your whole life. Imagine your whole life, and the men are like, look, do you have any? What's going on? We about to destroy this place. So get your daughters, what do you need to get? Do you know Lot probably had some family members that didn't make it? Do you know Lot went to Sodom and Gomorrah with a large possession? It wasn't just, see, people don't think about that. You think it was just Lot and his daughter and his wife. No, Lot went to Sodom and Gomorrah. Remember, Lot and Abraham had to part because their substance was so great that their people started to argue amongst themselves. So Abraham was like, all right, Lot, you go over there, I'm gonna go over here. So you gotta think when Sodom and Gomorrah is about to get destroyed, Lot cannot save everybody he loved. You don't know pain. You don't know pain. You don't know pain. The only thing Lot could have saved was his immediate family that was with him at that time. He didn't have time to go warn anybody of his possessions, the people that worked for him, maybe his best friend in the city, maybe whoever he had in the city, he had no time to warn them. Lot had to get up out that city. Imagine that. Well, you got to up and leave. You can't even take nothing. You can't even take your clothes. You got to run. You got to run with what's on your back. You don't know pain. If Lot could go through this, what are you crying about in 2025? What are you crying about? What are you sad about? You go through, brothers and sisters go through one thing and it's, oh my gosh, like, what are you crying about? And somebody said Khan like the mother with the 7 sons. Zakar said Khan like the mother with the 7 sons. That's a sister we gonna read about tonight, because some sisters, some of our foremothers is tougher than you brothers today. Our foremothers' faith put you brothers to shame in today's time. Soft. Look at this, man. Let's see what happened with Lot. So read that again from the top.
Verse 13, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it.
Read.
And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-laws, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city.
So he went to his son-in-law. So Lot had family. He went to his family. He told him, hey, look, the angel is about to destroy this place. We got to leave. And what did they do, Reed?
But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
They mocked him.
That's crazy.
Man, Lot, get out of here. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Y'all don't know pain. Imagine God come to your door and tell you, get up, you got to go. And whoever you love, you better tell him. And you call your mama and say, mama, we got to leave. And she say, I'm not leaving nowhere, boy. You in that coat. Some of y'all going to die because y'all ain't going to be man enough to leave your mama. Some of y'all going to die because you're not able to leave your mama. Some of you going to die because you can't leave your father. Some of you going to die because you can't leave your best friend. Some of you going to die because you be like, no, please. Just, the angel like, hey, we got to go. You got to lead him. Well, just give me a little bit more time. Some of y'all going to die because you can't gird your loins like a man. His family mocked him. Was like, man, what you talking about? Man, Lot, you a fool. Some of y'all can't even stand up to your parents about not eating pork. Some of y'all can't even stand up to your parents and your family about being in this truth, marrying somebody in this truth, the laws of God. Some of y'all get so downtrodden because y'all family is leaving y'all. Your family tell you in a cult, and y'all tuck tail and y'all run from the truth because you can't handle Big Mama not talking to you no more. Or you can't handle Big Daddy not talking to you no more. Or you can't handle your best friend or your cousin not talking to you no more. Y'all soft. You think you know pain. You don't know pain. You ain't facing the situation what Lot is faced with. You ain't faced with a situation that Lot was faced with. You don't know pain. You think you know pain, but you don't. You don't know what pain is. It's a bunch of us that need to read about our forefathers. Lot got mocked by his family. Watch what happened, read.
Verse 15, and when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are
like
here.
That was the only ones of his family that was listening to him. They said, man, look, your wives and your 2 daughters, they the only ones. Take them. It's time to go. Whoever don't come, it's over for them. You guys don't know pain. You think you know it, but you don't. You have no idea. Lot had to run with his wife and his 2 daughters. That was it. Watch this. Read.
Lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
He said, unless you gonna die with the iniquity of the city. Some of y'all gonna die Some of you guys not gonna make it because you too weak to make it. You're gonna die with the iniquity of this city. And that's just the hardcore truth. We don't make men as strong as we used to, but we have to get back strong, because if not, you're gonna die. Stop being so weak. Watch what happened with Lot. Read.
Verse 16. And while he lingered, the men laid hold up upon his hand,
Read.
and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters,
Mhm.
the Lord being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth
Mhm.
and set him without the city.
So they got him out the city. Watch this. Read.
And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life.
Mhm.
Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plains.
Read.
Escape to the mountain,
They said, look, run to the mountains and don't look behind you. Read.
lest thou be consumed.
Lest you die. Read.
And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my Lord.
Imagine Lot. He frantic. See, y'all reading the pages of the book. You're not really understanding what Lot talking about. Lot is like, wait, Lord, please. Hold on. I don't think I can make the city. I mean, I don't think I can make the mountains. Can you? That's like the angels telling us, if you in California, you got to go to flee to the mountains. You know what I mean? You in LA, so you got to go to flee to the mountains, which is far in the valley. Pasadena. You got to go flee to the mountains in Pasadena. You're like, that's too far. What am I do? What am I do, Lord? I don't think I can make that. So the angel sufficed for him to go to a little town nearby. Can you imagine the mindset that this man is in right now? This whole city about to be destroyed. You got to get up out of there. You didn't left everything behind. You didn't left family, friends. You didn't left possessions. You didn't left your whole livelihood behind. And it's only you and your daughters and your wife. Let's see what happened. Read.
Verse 19. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life.
Read.
And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die.
Please, man, I can't make the mountain. Verse 20 says, behold, now this city is near unto, and it is a little one. So he went to the city to escape. They okayed him to go to the city to escape, right? So now let's read verse 23 now.
Come on, verse 23. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar.
So Lot went into the city of Zoar, right? Lot went into the city of Zoar. Read.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire.
Imagine whatever city you're in, you run and you escape that city, and you look back and you see fire and brimstone coming from the sky, destroying everything you once held to. Everything you once held to, the elementary school you went to, the hospital you used to go to, the park you used to play, the friends you used to have, his sons-in-law, his family, he left family still in that city. So imagine fire and brimstone is about to rain on everything that you love. You think you know pain. You don't know nothing. You ain't been through nothing yet. You ain't been through that yet. You read about the story a lot, and then I have to check myself sometime, like, I'm sad because I couldn't pay a credit card bill. But I ate today. I'm sad because I can't pay a credit card bill. But I paid my rent, at least. Your credit went from an 800 credit score to a 650. Oh my gosh, I worked so hard for my credit, and it's just now is your bills paid? Is your rent paid? Yes, my rent is paid. Did your kids eat today? Yes, but my credit score was 800. Now it's 650. So what? Get it? I mean, bro, like, file bankrupt. Like those things are nothing. You crying because of that? You crying because of that? I'm gonna tell y'all, we not crying over no credit. I'm being real with y'all. We not crying over no credit. Like, okay, maybe your rent is 3 months past due. I get it. All right, you about to get kicked out. We not crying over credit. Not over credit. Please, brothers, don't come to me crying over credit. Please don't come crying. Bro, if you don't let that credit score be trash, you be all right. Do not cry to me about credit. I'm just being honest with y'all. It's some things that you can cry about. Cool. You know, you got 7 kids and you about to lose your house. I get it. That's stressful. But don't come to me crying about credit. That's weak. Brothers be weak. You have no backbone. You don't have no like strength. No strength. Just weak. You couldn't be in Lot position. He just seen his whole city destroyed in a matter of seconds. Family members still left in the city. Possession. Watch this. Read.
Verse 24. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities.
Read.
And all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground.
Now watch this. Read verse 26.
But his wife looked back from behind him.
Now his wife looked back. But what did the angels tell Lot not to do?
Don't look back.
His wife looked back. Brothers that's married, you love your wives? Put 7s in the chat if you love your wife.
Come on.
Sisters, put 7s in the chat if you love your mom. His wife looked back, and what happened to her? Read.
And she became a pillar of salt.
And she died. Lot didn't have time to mourn. Lot had to get up out of there. His daughters. Imagine you trying to escape and your mom died. Some of y'all gonna turn around, Mama, no. Because you're not built like that. Lot couldn't do that. Lot couldn't hug his wife and kiss her and say, baby, I love you. Lot had to get up out of there and his wife died. You think you know pain. And I'm not saying that there isn't anybody that has gone through super hard things in this life. But majority of y'all, you don't know pain. This is for the weak ones. This ain't for the brothers that really going through some pain. You know what I mean? This is not for y'all. This is for the people that's weak. Any little thing that doesn't go your way, you pout like a baby and you gotta run. This is for those people. This is for those people. Just weak. Just terrible weak. Just terribly weak. Just it's pathetic. Conflicted, and you ain't even got a family. What are you conflicted about? I don't understand. You 2019, go get it. The world is yours, young king. What are you conflicted about? Oh, I just don't know what the nightlife. This is the age of information. Get on Google, because I'm sure you watching whatever you watching on Netflix, on YouTube. Go to Google or go to YouTube and type in, how do you make money in 2025? Instead of watching anime all day, and then crying about why you confused in your life, why don't you stop watching anime and stop playing your video games and go online and type in, how does money work? That's what you should do.
Get on Indeed.
Get on Indeed. Yeah. Get off of Facebook, get off of Instagram, and get on Indeed. And type in jobs paying $30 an hour and what you need to do to get those. No, I would not consider Lot to be weak, but I will consider Lot to have so much mental stress that we're going to read what happened to him next. I think Lot was mentally broken. Lot was mentally broken. You got to make the story come alive. You can't just read it. Lot wasn't weak, but he was so strong and he dealt with so much that he mentally became broken. He was a broken man. We're gonna show you that. A lot of our forefathers were broken. You got to understand. Do y'all know what Jacob went through? Y'all don't even know what Jacob went through. Y'all think, oh, Jacob, he's Israel. God called. Jacob had a hard life. And I'm not talking about with substance. We're going to read about Jacob in a minute. A lot of these great men that we read about, they were great because they overcame great obstacles. Brothers, write your story. That's what's going to make you great. When they write about you, they're going to say the brother overcame adversity. He prevailed. He didn't waver. Everything and everybody left him. He was by himself. He was stripped to nothing. That's the hero story. He was stripped, didn't have anything, didn't have no direction to go, but he went the distance and he got it. They're not gonna write a weak story like the brother, what kind of strength? Oh, he was sad and he just sat at home all day and played games and watched Netflix. What kind of story is that? You're going to be put through an obstacle. Your story is being written right now. And everybody loves a hero story. Everybody loves a hero story. Why do you think we love David so much? We love David so much because of what he endured. Not like that. We don't talk about Solomon as much as we talk about David. We talk about Solomon because of David. But we talk about David the most because of what David endured and what he prevailed and overcame. That's why we talk about David. David's story is written in stone because no matter what he went through, he prevailed. What is your excuse? You don't have 100 men trying to kill you. You're not fleeing from city to city running because a whole nation of people are looking for you to kill you. You're not going through that. So what is your problem? It's just that you're weak. So Lot's wife literally died. Let's see what happened. Read.
Verse 27. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked towards Sodom and
Imagine
Gomorrah.
what Abraham going through. Did my cousin make it out? Did he make it? Did his wife make it? Did my nieces make it? Did they make it? Imagine the mental turmoil that Abraham is going through. But not once did they give up on God. Not once did Abraham say, God, that wasn't right. Why did you have to do that? He didn't do that. They held themselves down. Watch this. Read.
And toward all the land of the plain, and behold, and
Read.
lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace.
The smoke of the country went up as the smoke of the furnace. So now Lot, everything is done. Everything that Lot ever had is destroyed. His wife is dead. Can you imagine the mental, psychological breakdown you about to have? Yeah. You crying because you need a better job? Like, this is weak, brothers and sisters too. Sisters be crying because your husband got a multiple wife, or your husband want to get married to a sister wife situation, or you can't wear pants and y'all crying and having fits and all of that. Do you know what your foremothers endured? You crying over that? And I'm not talking about wicked men that's going out here fornicating and doing all that. I'm talking about in a righteous situation. You know, you got sisters that can't even be strong enough to hold that down. And then you look at and you read about your foremothers and they went through way more than you. Like, it's no reason for you to be crying. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. The stuff I see the sisters complaining about on social media, again, I'm not talking about fornication and a wicked man. I'm not talking about that. But just in general, like, you crying about multiple wives, you crying about this, you crying about, like, what are you crying about? You're not waking up every morning 200 years ago getting raped by a white man and you can't do nothing about it. What are you crying about? You're not waking up at 2 a.m. to a white man and coming in to your where you're laying at in the barn and tie up your husband in the other room, and your husband can't do nothing and the white man have his way with you. Sisters, what are you crying about? Because you got to share your man. And again, this is not for wicked brothers. This is for righteous brothers. You crying because you got to share your man? Your foremothers had to participate in orgies when the slave master wanted it to happen. What are you crying about? Weak Israelites in 2025 are weak. And I'm just going, sometimes you just got to say it. We complain about everything. When we don't get what we want, we pout. We're like stubborn babies. If you're a part of a camp and you lead a camp, you'll know. We like stubborn babies. When we don't get our way, when we don't get what we want, we pout, we cry. We have a hissy fit. We have a hissy fit. You weak, brother and sisters alike. Lot's wife just died. He had to escape the city. Lot's wife just died. Watch what happened. Read.
Verse 29. And it came to pass when God destroyed the cities of the plain that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow.
Read.
When he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt.
Read.
And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountains.
So when Lot got out of that city, Lot had to go live in the mountains. How many of y'all complaining about your 1-bedroom apartment? You got to live in a mountain? How many of y'all complaining about your 1-bedroom apartment? Forget that. Your studio. You complaining about your studio. Oh, you looking at social media and all that. You see people that got these glamorous houses and you sad because of your 1-bedroom or your 2-bedroom apartment. Man, enjoy that 2-bedroom. Make that 2-bed apartment beautiful. Clean it up. Scripture says it's better to deal in a mean cottage than in a delicate fare of another man's house. Clean that 2-bedroom apartment up. Put some nice little furniture in there. But you ain't living in you ain't, and even if you ain't got, look, get you I remember, look, see, y'all gonna have Rod to go back into his stories, man. Y'all gonna have Rod to go back into his. I remember when I first got my first ever apartment on my own. Just me and my wife, not rooming with nobody, not, because I did have an apartment. I had a best friend of mine at the time and his girl, and it was me and my wife, and we shared an apartment. But I'm talking about when you finally get your own with you and your girl. We didn't have nothing in that thing. We was just happy to sleep on the floor in the living room. Didn't matter where we was in the hood, whatever. We was just happy to do that. We didn't need the best at the time. We was just happy just to have somewhere to lay. You ain't never, man, look, it ain't no excuse. Everything that you going through, me, this brother, all of us, we've been through that. Sleeping in cars, you name it. Whatever it is, it's no excuse, brothers. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes when brothers come bring me their problems, I look at them and I'm just like, brother, are you sleeping from car to car from your different homies? Do you gotta call different homies and ask them to, because you need underwear? Do you gotta call different homies and tell them, hey, I got some underwear in the back. I need you to come meet me here. Can you meet me here? And he like, all right, well, you're gonna have to give me an hour because I'm busy. You gotta sit there, can't take a shower because all the clothes that you got with this homie is dirty, and you gotta wait for the homie to come bring the clothes that he got, but he was caught up in something. Hey, you ever been through that? Sleeping in cars, you ever been through where your homie's mom getting tired of you staying there, so you can't stay there no more? So now you like, look, bro, you can sleep in the car. Every emotion that you felt ain't nothing that brothers ain't been through. So what is your problem? What are you sad about? Some of y'all got it better off than what I had when I was like you young brothers. Some of y'all young brothers, y'all got it better off than what I had. Y'all got a decent job. You know what I mean? You might have parents that ain't kicked you out yet. What are you sad about? I got kicked out 17, 18, kicked out, didn't have nowhere to go. Left with a bag full of a Bible and a bag full of clothes. And you sad and don't know, and you conflicted because you're going to work every day and you still live with your parents and they not forcing you to get out, but you don't know what to do with your life. It's sad, man. Brothers don't have no backbone. I thank God that I was raised with my dad, though, because he made that. And then furthermore, when you look at life, Lot and his life, none of us is living in caves. After your wife just died and after your city just got destroyed and you went from having everything in luxury. You went from Lot had it all. He had money, he had finances, he had workers, he had everything. He went from that to sleeping in a cave. You think you know pain, but you don't. You think you know pain, but you don't. What are you crying for? Especially you men. But it get even worse. Look at what happened with Lot. Look at him. Look what happened to him. Read.
Verse 31. And Lot went up out of Zor and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zor, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters.
Zor, the city was not destroyed. Look at, I want y'all to pay attention to Lot's mental health. He's tweaking. The city's not destroyed. Lot could start a new life in the city, but he was so tweaked out, he went to live in the mountains.
He was scared that city was going to be destroyed, right?
Yes, his mental. That's why I said it's not that he was weak, but I believe he just got broken. He would imagine that you in the city, you escaped the turmoil. The city not about to be destroyed. The angels didn't come say, all right, leave this city. But Lot is so tweaked out now of what he just witnessed. He got to flee to he think he got to still flee to the mountains. How would you feel if your cousin came to you and was like, I gotta live in the mountains? What would y'all think if your family member came to you and was like, I gotta live in them, I gotta live in the mountains? You're gonna be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you would think he on something.
Like, why you gotta live in the mountains? I gotta live in the mountains. Lot at this point, tweaking out. He was traumatized. You think you know pain? You don't know pain. Read, what happened? Read.
Verse 31. And the firstborn said to the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth.
They tweaking too. They bugging too. Now his daughters is tweaking. They like, it ain't a man in the earth. I mean, after what they just witnessed, they like, it ain't a man in the earth, and our father's getting old. So they come up with the bright idea of what? Read.
And there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us.
They're like, we can't have intercourse with a man and have children. So guess what we got to do, sis? We got to lay with our father.
Dang.
Tweaking. Mind gone. See, you got to put yourself in that position. Like, y'all just be reading this. Y'all just be reading to read. Y'all don't really read to absorb. That's mental trauma. That's mental trauma. Watch this. Read.
Verse 32. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
You see that? They like, man, let us lie with our father. Can you imagine the father wake up and some months pass and he like, how are you pregnant? And then they tell him, well, we had to lay with you. What kind of mental trauma as a father how are you going to feel to know you slept with your daughter? What type of mental trauma are you going to have when your daughters come to you and say, we had to sleep with you? You talk about depression, talk about mental trauma. You just seen your wife die. Everything you know is gone. You living in a mountain. And then you find out you laid with your daughters because you was drunk. Watch, read.
Verse 33. And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with the father.
And somebody said it. How much wine did you drink? How much liquor did you drink? And you know this was a custom because the daughters were comfortable with knowing how much he drank, because you just don't drink that as a new beginner drinker. You just don't drink like that and black out. Normally what happens is you get sick the next morning or whatever. Lot, well, they knew this is what Lot do. He get drunk and we gonna take advantage of him. Because normally what you're gonna see that some of our forefathers had alcohol problems. You know, not saying Lot is a direct descendant of our forefather, like a direct forefather, but you know, you're gonna see, like, you know, when you look at you know what happened with Noah. You know, We're gonna get that in a minute. Right? Let's read.
And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose.
Mhm.
And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
You see that? Lot basically got raped by his daughters. But then the I think the mental travesty is knowing that in order for them to do that, Lot had to be aroused. So the fact that he had to get up and realize what he did, that's enough to make somebody go insane. That's enough to make somebody go insane. But you think your life is hard? Let's go to our good man Noah. Go to Genesis chapter 9. Some of y'all got to read these stories, and that's why y'all got to read. Y'all got to be in y'all scriptures, man. I could tell who in their word and who not in their word. You know, the people that's always having mental breakdowns off of little things. I know you're not in your word. Like I just know you're not in your word. I know you're not. You know, people that, you know, them people that always like they need the prep talk all the time. Brothers, sometimes you're not gonna be able to have that prep talk. Sometimes you gotta go to the deepest, darkest place in your soul. And you gotta stare at yourself in the mirror and you gotta say, some of this is what I'm doing is because of me. We're gonna get that in a minute. But look at what Noah went through. Get 9 and 21.
Come on. The book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 21. And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent.
You see that? Noah, after he got out of, can you think, we're not going to read the whole story of Noah, but literally, after Noah goes through all of what he been through with the flood and the water and all of that, when Noah goes through all of that, what type of mentality you think Noah got? Like, think about it. Noah just seen the world get flooded. He was hearing people scream out, banging on the ark to get in the ark. People that he loved. Noah, please, his favorite cousin, his auntie, his best friend. Noah, okay, I believe you now. Noah, just open up, please. No, Noah, come on, please, just open up, Noah. He had to hear all of that. He couldn't open it. Some of y'all would have died in that ark because some of y'all would have jumped over. Okay, I'm gonna try to get you. God would have killed you too. You ain't as strong as Noah. Noah had to close up the ark. The people he loved too. Mama didn't believe. Daddy didn't believe. Cousin didn't believe. Uncle didn't believe. Friend didn't believe. Family didn't believe. He had to deal with the trauma. And then you don't even know if you're going to survive or not. Like, you just got to sit on the boat while the boat rocking and water and waves and you're scared for your life. The creaking and the cracking and the water going overboard and the animals making noise. And y'all don't know. That's hell. That's hell. Some of y'all wouldn't even be able to last in the ocean at night with a regular storm.
It was probably dark in there too, now that you think about it. Like,
yes, it was no light.
Cold.
Was no sun. See, y'all think about, y'all from LA. Y'all think about that LA rain or that Bay Area rain. You know that rain you get in LA where it's like the sun still shining and you know what I mean? Like, you know, sun still shining, birds still flying. You know what I mean? That's the rain y'all used to getting in the West, I should say. You ain't never dealt with a storm. I'm talking about a storm. I'm talking about a storm that then destroyed the whole world. And you don't even know, and you feel all of the force of the boat. You literally feel all of the force of the boat. You getting thrashed around up in there. God didn't say it was going to be comfortable. He said just build it. The Most High didn't say, okay, and I'm going to make you not hear nothing, no screams, you're going to be comfortable. God didn't say that. He said, look, just build it, get up in there. Some of y'all, y'all will fold. You wouldn't even be able to last. So no wonder why Noah built him a vineyard and got drunk and was drinking like he was drinking. After that, he said Noah had to make him a vineyard and he got drunk. probably was in that boat. He once they hit land, he probably was like delirious. I need some. Let me make some of this good liquor. I need to. And he, what did it say? Read.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
And Ham, the father of Canaan.
Read verse 20 again. Was it 20? Yeah, read verse 20 again.
The book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 20.
Read.
And Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard.
So he learned, he started planting a vineyard. Read.
And he drank of the wine and was drunken.
He drank up the wine and was drunk. He had to drink away his sorrows and the pain and the things that he remember from that. Read.
And he was uncovered within his tent.
See that? Knocked out, butt naked. Gone. But, I mean, can you blame him? I mean, what Noah went through, imagine the PTSD he got experienced with what he just went through. And you don't know. Even though God promised Noah that he would not flood the earth again, any bit of rain, you got to think to yourself. You just live that. You like, is it raining? Did the Most High change his mind? You got to think.
Is it going to stop?
Is it going to stop?
Man.
See, y'all not ready. Y'all think you know pain. You don't know pain. You don't know. You sad because you lost your job. Get over it. Go get another one. You don't know pain. Let's go from there. Watch this. Let's go to Genesis 37. This is one of my favorite stories right here. Genesis chapter 37, read verse 1.
Come on, the book of Genesis chapter 37, verse 1.
Read.
And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan.
All right. So Jacob dwelt in the land of Canaan. Read.
These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report.
So if you don't know, Joseph was like the favorite son. All right. Joseph was Jacob's favorite. And Joseph, you would always go back, because I'm going to be honest, y'all come from the 12 tribes of Israel. I'm going to be real with you. If you ever take the time to just read about Reuben, about Judah, they was messed up. Judah had a lust addiction. He liked prostitutes. Reuben slept with his father's wife, committed adultery. Who was it? Was it Benjamin and Levi? I forgot who were the hotheads that somebody could put it in the chat. But they killed all the men that I forgot their sister Dinah lay with, or he got raped by a heathen, and then they went as hotheads and killed the whole city. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, your forefathers was kind of messed up. We was tore up. So we messed up to this day. It's a miracle the Most High still kept the 12 tribes. That's why, like, man, we messed up. Benjamin, y'all got to go read that. When Benjamin went on his tear of fornication and was raped the sister all, the tribe of Benjamin raped the sister all night, and then the father cut her body parts and scattered them to Israel so Israel can come help. Benjamin was on one. So when you read these stories about these great men and who they became, this should give you encouragement that no matter where you've been in your life and no matter where you went and where you came from, it ain't nothing that your forefathers ain't been through. Talking about lust addiction, Judah, all your forefathers been through that. You talk about lying and deceit. We about to read that right now. Hatred. All of the 12 tribes displayed that. So Joseph was considered the goody two shoes. He would go back and bring the evil report. Jemiah said, was that actually wrong for Levi to do, or is that righteous? It's not so much that it was wrong. It's more so like it was the level of hot-headedness and they didn't think it through. So just like Jacob told him, Jacob was like, look, you got to understand, y'all didn't think it through. These people have these people have made league with other nations among us and have business with those nations. You just killed all those people. Right now, those nations that they got league with can come right now and wipe our whole seed line out. So you didn't, you guys didn't think it through. I think it was Benjamin and Levi, wasn't it? They didn't think it through. They was just hotheads and just went and just. But those are the attributes you got to read about your forefathers. No wonder why we hotheads and we drunks and fornicators. And that's not to say that's what we are defined as. It's just that's what we're. It's nothing new. Somebody said it. It's nothing new under the sun. We've been dealing with that since forever. So when you read about you read the Bible and you think sometimes you disconnect yourself and you don't think the Bible can relate to you. But that's because you're not reading it to absorb. You're just reading it painlessly. You're not reading it to absorb what you're actually reading. You're not really reading that how Joseph was and went to bring back a report to his father that anybody would look at him as a goody two shoes. And he was the favorite. You're not looking at how the 12 tribes, his older brothers, they weren't responsible. So the reason why Jacob, and you're not reading it to understand that Jacob had favoritism. So what y'all fail to realize is this is family trauma. Wait, who got family trauma? We all got some family trauma. The 12 tribes did too. This is regular old Jake family trauma. You don't like your brother don't like you, y'all squabbing, fighting. This is good old family trauma. You see what I'm saying? This is real life. So let's see what happened. Let's read the story. Read.
Verse 3. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children.
Read.
Because he was the son of his old age.
Read.
And he made him a coat of many colors.
How you feel? You ever had that one sibling that was just the goody two shoes and couldn't do nothing wrong, and the parents gave them everything but then neglected you? Or you felt like they neglected you? Yeah, I've been there. We've all been there. This is some real family trauma right here. No excuse for you. Watch this. Read.
And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him.
They hated their brother. The tribes you come from. I'm from tribe of Judah. And I'm from the tribe of Levi. And I'm this tribe. And I'm that tribe. Man, they was wicked. The Lord still had mercy on them. They hated their brother. Hated him. Watch what happened. Read.
And could not speak peaceably unto him.
And they did not speak peaceably unto him. They were not nice to him. So imagine what Joseph got to go through. Joseph got to go through being hated and being talked about and bullied. All of that. This is what Joseph had to endure. Watch this. Read.
Verse 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren. And they hated him yet the more.
And Joseph was one of those guys where he was special from a child. Joseph had to deal with people that hated him, was jealous of him, his own brothers, jealous of his gifts and his abilities, jealous of his favor. Some of y'all might be going through that right now. If you're going through that right now, suck it up. That's what it is when you are called to be a chosen. And of course, we know the 12 tribes were called collectively, but within this story, Joseph was called. You know what comes with being a chosen? Hatred. People gonna hate you. People are gonna hate your light. People are gonna naturally hate your light. Don't think it's strange. The scripture says, don't think it's strange when you fall into diverse temptations and things like that, and people hate you. That's what comes with being a chosen. You want to be a leader? It's lonely at the top. People not gonna like you. People gonna hate you. When you try to do good to people, they're gonna find a way to hate you. You ever seen people that do bad to people, do wrong to people, and they never hate it? But then you got the person that ain't never did nothing to nobody. Always try to be upright. But he's hated. That was Joseph. So don't think it's strange. You're going to be hated when you got that. And that's for sisters too. That ain't just for brothers. That's for sisters too. People are going to hate you. They're not going to like you. But guess what? So what? Everybody not going to like you. You can't live your life for people to like you. You have to live your life for the Lord. And that's what Joseph did to his demise at one point. Because Joseph was called. He was chosen. He was special. And his brothers hated him for it. The same things that God loved in Joseph, his brothers hated him for it. Because one thing that Joseph was that his brothers did not always display is Joseph was righteous. His brothers were not. You understand? In certain instances, his brothers were not. And when you're righteous, unfortunately, your righteousness makes people's wickedness. It makes them hate you because it calls them out. And that's just how it is. It's not about who like you and all of that. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell y'all, if I was in this for people liking me, I would have been left. Y'all know how many people hate me? A lot. But you gotta keep going, because at the end of the day, we serve the Most High. And until the Most High take breath out of my body, I will continue. Y'all gotta suck that up. Oh, they don't like me. So what? I was with an organization for years. I had to walk in that building and people full of people that didn't like me, but still do the work. So what? Your forefathers went through it too. They know that pain. Watch what happened. They hated Joseph. Read.
Verse 6. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed.
Read.
For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shall thou indeed reign over us? Or shall thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words.
Joseph was a visionary, and his brothers hated him for his vision. And the thing that you got to take, for you brothers out there that's special, this is for you brothers out there that's special, and this is for you sisters out there that's special. People hate visionaries. And you know why people hate visionaries? Joseph was a visionary. You know why people hate visionaries? Because their vision is limited. They can't see what you see. And sometimes the goodness of your heart for brothers and sisters, when you try to get people to see what you see and what is to come, they hate you more for it, because your very existence of your gift angers them. Because with jealousy and hatred comes flattery. They're flattered by you. His brothers were still, if you read it, it didn't say it, but you got to think they're jealous of him because they want what he has. So they're flattered by you. Hate comes with flattery. That's why it's a thin line between love and hate. They hated Joseph because Joseph was a visionary.
They were envious.
Envious of him. Envious of his vision. And when you're a visionary like that, like Joseph, and you're destined for great things, instead of people conceptualizing in themselves that I could be great too in my own right, they envy your talents. They hated Joseph. So Joseph had to go through that. Joseph had to suck it up like a man. But let's see what happened. Read.
Verse 9. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him.
Even his father, which loved him, didn't even understand him. His father rebuked him. Like, what? Sometimes everybody not going to understand your mission. They're going to look at you. They're going to say you weird. They're going to say you not. I don't know what you're talking about. And this is for the people, because I'm going to be honest. Everybody ain't visionaries. Everybody ain't got that. That's okay. But for y'all that have that, you know you have that, guess what? It's gonna come with love. It's gonna come with hate. People gonna hate that, and it's gonna come with you not being understood. Joseph was a child that was not understood. You think you know pain? You have no idea. Let's see what Joseph went through. Read.
And said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed?
Mhm.
Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth?
Read.
And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying.
All right. So his brothers envied him. They hated him for his dreams and his charismatic ways, and that he was righteous and upstanding, and that it was supposed to be Reuben. Reuben, when I read about Reuben, Reuben was like that knucklehead older brother. Like Reuben was like, when I read about Reuben, and this is no disrespect to my forefathers, but this is just the truth. Reuben reminds me of that brother that's supposed to have it all, but he's a F up. That's what Reuben reminds me of. When you read about Reuben, Reuben was like that F up brother. Because Reuben is supposed to be the one that Jacob confides in to make sure the brothers do right. But instead, he was confiding in his youngest, which was Joseph at the time. So Reuben was like that brother that's supposed to be this, but he's not. I mean, you got to think about it. He lost the birthright. He was supposed to be the head tribe. That right went to Judah. Christ was supposed to come from Reuben. But Reuben was the F up. So you got to think. You got to put yourself in, why is Jacob confiding in Joseph when Reuben is the oldest? You understand? Because Reuben was a knucklehead, not even a knucklehead. Because we're gonna see how Reuben is displayed here. We're gonna see. We're gonna prove it in this story right here. Read.
Verse 12. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem.
Read.
And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem?
Read.
Come, and I will send them unto them. And he said to him, here am I.
Read.
And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren and well with the flocks.
Read.
And bring me word again.
See, he like, go check on your brothers, because I know they be messing around. I know they don't be doing what they supposed to do. Go check on them and make sure that it is well with their flocks and what they supposed to do. Read.
So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks.
Read.
And the man said, they are departed hence, for I heard them say, let us go to Dathan.
Read.
And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dathan.
And one thing about Joseph didn't care if his brothers liked him or not. He obeyed his father. Don't care if you like me. I'm going to go find where y'all at. And I'm going to go tell Dad. I'm going to go give Pop's word. And it don't matter if you don't like me. This is what it is. So watch what happened when he found his brother. Read.
Verse 18. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him.
Israel was so wicked that they wanted to kill their brother. I want y'all to let that sink in for a second. They wanted to kill him. That's how thick the hatred was. It's a miracle the Most High God allowed us to be birthed through these men. If you just been like, truthfully, the Most High had mercy, and it was really all for Abraham. But they wanted to kill their own baby brother because of hatred. Read.
Verse 19. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh.
And that's what people do when you got a gift. They mock your gift. This dreamer cometh. This dreamer, this prophet, look at him, here he comes. And they wanted to kill him. They conspired to kill their brother. Watch this, read.
Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we will say, some evil beast hath devoured him.
They're going to say, let's kill him. Now, let me put y'all in the mind, because I want y'all to really read with the mind of understanding. of what type of mind you have to be to kill your brother off top. But then, in order for you to say a beast slayed him, what do you have to do? You got to cut up his body. You got to ravage his body. So they're not just going to kill him. They're going to kill him and have to ravage his body so that they could be able to say a wild beast did it. What type of mental do you have to be to not just let alone kill your brother?
That's crazy.
But you got to chop him up. Because a bear didn't, Jacob gonna know a bear didn't kill him if he just got a stab wound in the side of his stomach or chest. So you got to put yourself in that, the pain and the travesty that you feeling today is no different. Now, this is where I say Reuben always be dropping the ball. Let's see what happened. Read.
And we shall see what will become of his dreams.
And they like, and we gonna see if what becomes of this dreamer. They're his enemies. These Joseph's brothers were his enemies. So you got to think, Joseph didn't see the Israel we see with David. Joseph didn't see the Israel we seen with Solomon. Joseph didn't see the Israel we seen with Hezekiah. Joseph didn't see the Israel we seen with, he didn't see that. Joseph just seen his brothers. So you got to put yourself in Joseph. So see, we read in the scriptures. We read in the scriptures with a bird's eye view, in the sense of we got the whole story. We see what Israel become. To Joseph, it's just his brothers. Reuben is just Reuben. And Levi just Levi. Judah just Judah. They wasn't looking at it like Joseph was, oh, that's Judah, the king of the tribes. They didn't do that. It was just, oh, that's Judah, that's Reuben. Okay, y'all, whatever. Y'all like a big family like the Jackson 5. Just that's Mike, that's this, that's that. Yeah, it's just us. We don't know what we're gonna become in our seed line, but so you gotta think Joseph is just, and his brother, they're not looking at it like nothing. And you gotta think Reuben was among them. Now, Reuben, the oldest. Typically, the oldest is supposed to put his foot down. That's why I say Reuben is like the F up, because Reuben supposed to put his foot down. But Reuben is scared of him. Reuben supposed to be like, we ain't doing it. But the rest of the tribes, they didn't even respect Reuben. They didn't even respect Reuben. Reuben right there among them. They didn't even respect him. But Reuben, as an older brother, knew he had to do something, but he couldn't confront them because they probably be like, Reuben, what you gonna do? Reuben, what you gonna do? Yeah. That's why people be, you know what will humble Israel? You know, Israel, this is why I don't teach the chart, right? We don't teach the 12 tribe chart. But people that do, it's okay. But some people get prideful in their tribe. Oh, I'm Judah, and I'm Levi, and I'm this, and I'm that. When you start getting prideful in your tribe, go read about your tribe and who you descend from before they got in their land and got their allotment. Go read about Levi, and go read about Judah, and go read about Reuben, and go read about your tribe before we got our allotment of land in the covenant. Go read. So then we'll see how proud you are.
They're gonna be real quiet after reading that.
But that keeps you humble. Like you be thinking you son, oh, I'm Judah, the tribe of Judah, lion tribe. Man, Judah was a fornicator. And I love my forefather, don't get me wrong, but it's just to keep you Negroes from being prideful. Judah, y'all got to understand, man, like this is a real book. This is a real book. Watch what happened. They like, let us kill him. Let's see what Reuben, read verse 22.
Should I read verse 21?
Oh, read 21, yeah.
Come on, verse 21. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands.
So Reuben heard it. So Reuben attempted. Now, one thing I will say about Reuben, even though Reuben reminds me when I read about him like a ditz or a bonehead, one thing about Reuben, he attempted. He did attempt. He didn't hate Joseph in the light that his brothers did. He attempted. He attempted to save Joseph, but he was a bonehead. Let's see what happened. Read.
And said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him,
Read.
that he might rid him out of their hands to deliver him to his father
So
again.
good idea, Reuben. Good idea. You know, hey guys, let's not kill him. I got a better idea, guys. Let's not kill him. Let's just throw him in this pit. No, Reuben. How about you just say we ain't doing none of that? How about you just take Joseph and walk him back to your father? I get it. You get an E for effort, Reuben. You get it. You know what I mean? But Reuben was afraid of his brothers, obviously, because Reuben should have been like, man, we ain't doing none of that. You ain't about to slay him. We ain't throwing him in no pit. But Reuben tried. He was like, look, aha, I got a good idea. I'll tell them to throw him in a pit, and then later I'll come back and save him. Reuben tried. He tried. That's why I say he kind of remind me like when I read about him, a ditz, like a, you know what I mean? He didn't have it all together. And he was afraid of his brothers, obviously, but he's the oldest. But this is why Jacob didn't confide in Reuben, because of that fear that he had for his brother. This is why Jacob didn't say, Reuben, tell me the report, because Reuben would have lied for them. Reuben wouldn't have kept it G with it. So the only person that was keeping it real was Joseph. So Joseph had to be Reuben, because Reuben wasn't fit for that. All right, let's see what happened. Read.
Verse 23, and it came to pass when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat.
So they took his clothes off. Read.
His coat of many colors that was on him.
Mm-hmm.
And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty.
Mm-hmm.
There was no water in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked. And behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead.
So they threw him in the pit. So Reuben wasn't conceptualizing all of the things that could have happened. They threw him in the pit. Imagine that. They throw him in the pit. How far was the pit? How deep was the pit? You know, see, y'all think they just took a rope and like laid him down gently in the pit. They tossed him in a pit. They tossed him in a pit. So you got to imagine he was hurt. And they eating food after they taught. Like, cool, like, eating. Then they see some Ishmaelites. And they're like, oh, we can sell him to some Ishmaelites. You sell your brother into slavery? How much hate do you got to have to sell your brother into slavery? You sold your brother into slavery. That is madness. Look what happened. Read.
A company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt.
Read.
And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if
Who said it?
But
read 26.
And Judah said unto his brethren.
And Judah said to his brethren. Look, this big bad Judah.
That's crazy.
Hey, look, this big bad Judah. This the head tribe Judah. I'm Judah, the lion tribe of Judah. You need some Judah in your camp. That's why y'all camp not failing. I'm Judah. This was Judah's bright idea to do to his brother. Cold. Judah said, I got a good look. Why kill him when we can get? See, that's how Judah was thinking. Why kill him when we can get something from him? We can get something in return. Now, let's not kill him. I got something better. And you can tell just by reading the story, and as the story progresses, you can tell who's the head of the tribes, even in this instance. It was always Judah. They all listened to Judah. And even when we get deeper into the story, it was Judah that was speaking up. Watch this, read.
And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother
Read.
and conceal his blood?
Read.
Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him.
Read.
For he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver.
For 20 pieces of silver, they sold Joseph. Like, man, look, on top of that, he is our brother. We shouldn't kill him. Let's just sell him. You know, he is our brother. Let's just sell him. You know what I mean? Let's just sell him. Read.
And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit.
And Reuben wasn't even there. What was Reuben doing? He said Reuben was somewhere being goofy. What was Reuben doing? What was Reuben doing? Your brother is in a pit. Your other brothers just said they're going to kill your other brother. You're going to leave him? You're going to leave? If I had 5 brothers and 4 of my brothers, a couple of my brothers wanted to kill another one of my brothers, I'm not going to leave him. I'm going to stay by him at least. If I have that idea that Reuben had, I'm not going to leave him because they could change their minds. This is why I say Reuben was a ditz. But you know one thing? Joseph had a hard life. But you know another thing though? Joseph had a great life. Because one thing Joseph knew that y'all don't know is he never lost faith in God, in the Most High. If you ever get down in your luck, go read about Joseph. Go read about Joseph. Joseph never wavered. He always kept his faith in the Most High. He didn't blame nobody. He didn't say, woe is me, and oh my gosh, my brothers were trying to. Joseph had every right to do that. Y'all don't. Y'all, but Israelites in 2025, y'all be sad when somebody walk into school and don't say hi to you. And Joseph got to deal with this. You are soft. You lose faith in the Most High quick. Look what happened to him. Reuben came back. What Reuben do? Read.
Verse 29, and Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes.
Reuben, okay, I know you sad, but why did you leave, brother? You should have stayed there. You knew your brothers was evil. But he rent his clothes. Now read verse 30. Read.
And he returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not, and I, whither shall I go?
He like, man, there go Reuben messing up again. I'm the older brother. I can't find him. Y'all took him and put him somewhere. And what I'm gonna do? Now what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna tell dad? What I'm gonna tell dad? What did y'all just do? What I'm gonna tell dad? This is gonna kill Pops. This is gonna kill Isaac. Israel. This is gonna kill our father, and he's gonna and our father's gonna look at me and as the oldest and be a letdown. Why did y'all do that? Where's Joseph? Read.
Verse 31. And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats.
Instead of Reuben being a man about it and telling his father the truth of what they did to Joseph, he went along with his brothers to conceal it.
Wow.
This is why Reuben was an F up. This is why Reuben was an F up. Because instead of confronting his father and telling the truth, he couldn't bear with the shame that he was about to feel and the letdown from his father. His father probably could have went and rescued Joseph, but instead he chose to go with the lie because he couldn't face the fact of his failure. These are real stories. These are real stories. This ain't no fairy tale. These things are, that's how you know the Bible real, because people are like, oh, Bible. Every religious dogma out there never tells you anything bad about the main characters. Never tells you anything bad about the main characters. When you read the Bible, it keep it real with you. Israel wasn't nothing. We wasn't y'all finish it. The Bible keep it G. The Bible tells you how messed up we were. Reuben couldn't even face the fact that he dropped the ball again. But let's keep reading. Read.
Verse 31. And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors and they brought it to their father.
They imagine the trauma that they just put Israel through, the mental trauma that they just put Jacob through. Imagine that. Imagine the mental trauma and heartbreak that Jacob is about to go through now. It's pain everywhere. His son just died. His sons just told him his son got killed by an animal, his favorite son. Imagine if your son, your daughter went missing. How would you feel? Trauma. And the trauma was so thick, that trauma on Jacob lasted for years. He just didn't get over it. Oh, no, I just have another son, name him Benjamin. That's how y'all read the story. Y'all read the story like Jacob just like, oh, okay, well, I'm sad right now. And then the next page, oh, yeah, Benjamin. Okay, now he's fine. He mourned Joseph for all those years. All of those years he mourned Joseph. He just didn't get over that. He mourned Joseph for all of those years. And the mourning was so thick that his other sons were sorry they even did that. Look what happened. Read.
Verse 32. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found.
Read.
Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew it and said, it is my son's coat. An evil beast had devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many days.
Many days. Mourn for his son many days. Read.
And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him.
Read.
But he refused to be comforted.
He refused to be comforted. He was distraught. Can you imagine the pain in his voice when he screamed out his son is gone? He was distraught. Imagine your favorite child or your child is gone. You would never hug them again. You would never feel their embrace. He didn't even want to be comforted. The pain and the anguish in his voice as he cried. See, y'all got to understand that these is real people. Jacob he was sad. He mourned. He was traumatized. He had PTSD. Because you're going to read what happened with Benjamin. He had PTSD. Pain in his heart. Because he didn't let Benjamin go. He didn't let Benjamin out of his sight. Imagine how Benjamin must have felt. Like, dang, I can't do nothing like that. Shelter, he can't do nothing. Pain, this is trauma. Watch this, read.
And he said, for I will go down into the grave unto my son.
So bad, he wanted to kill himself. He said, I'm going to go down into the grave. He said, I'm going to die. Have y'all ever got sold by your brothers into slavery? Well, I mean, somebody out there might have dealt with this. And if you did, peace be unto you. But majority of y'all ain't dealt with this. Have your family members ever killed you? Tried to kill you? Your family members ever try to destroy you? Plot to take your life? We crying over little stuff? You think you know pain. You don't know pain. He wanted to die. Read.
Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard.
All right, so Joseph got sold. Now, if y'all want to see how much of an F up Judah was, in the next chapter, in chapter 38, verse 1 on down, you can see that Judah loved harlots. The next chapter, Judah out there now looking for harlots. Y'all see how mental we are as a people, like messed up. See that? But let's keep reading about Joseph though. Go to chapter 39, read verse 1. So now Joseph already got betrayed by his brothers, got sold into slavery by his brothers. Let's see what happened. Read verse 1.
Genesis chapter 39, verse 1. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt and to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man.
And the Lord was with Joseph. So now Joseph got sold into slavery, but did Joseph whine? Did Joseph cry? Did Joseph say, oh my gosh, Lord, please? No, Joseph behaved himself as a righteous man with dignity. Joseph didn't tuck tail. A lot of y'all be ready to run for little minute stuff. You need to go read Joseph. Joseph kept his chastity. He was not ashamed to stand up, and he was blessed for a time. He never wavered. He didn't never blame the Most High. He kept his integrity. Some of y'all got to learn how to keep your integrity. You don't know how to keep your integrity. Read what happened. Read.
And he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand.
Read.
And Joseph found grace in his sight.
Read.
And he served him.
Read.
And he made him overseer over his house.
Read.
And all that he had, he put into his hand.
So then Joseph started getting something good going for him. Joseph rose up. This is the thing, brothers. When you're going through stuff, you don't run. You run to God. He'll bless you then. You want to know why your life won't fix? Your life won't fix because you crying and you looking in the wrong direction instead of saying, I'm going to stay 10 toes down with the Most High. Your situation is not fixing because you're not choosing to stay 10 toes down with the Most High, just like Joseph did. Joseph still stood 10 toes down. Yeah, he got sold by his brethren. Yeah, his brothers wanted to kill him, but he didn't let that define him. He still stood on integrity. A lot of you brothers don't know how to stand, and sisters don't know how to stand on integrity. As soon as it get tough, you give up and you waver and you wave the white flag and you mentally check out because you're weak. You're weak. You're weak. You woe is me because your life is the center of attention for you, and you don't understand that you're a small speck of dust to the big scheme of things. You're nothing compared to the scheme of things. You can't handle a little controversy. Therefore, you are weak. Therefore, you are weak. And you get super depressed and you can't eat, and you start wilding out and losing weight and losing hair and doing all these things, but you stressed about minute things. Now, again, this is not to people that's really going through things out there, because it's some people that go through hard things in their life. But for the people that's out there going through hard things in your life, it's no excuse to quit. You still got to stand up and gird your loins and do what you got to do for the Most High. It ain't about you. A lot of y'all cry because you think it's about you. It ain't about you. It ain't about me. It ain't about Tazana Y. It ain't about none of y'all in this chat. It's about the Most High. You know who understood that? Joseph did. Joseph didn't say, woe is me. Joseph didn't get to Potiphar and break down. Joseph got to work and worked his way up to being second in command in Potiphar's house. He didn't let his circumstances define him. He didn't let his problems define him. He didn't let the people that hated him define him. He didn't let his brothers that envied him and hated him define him. He didn't let none of that define him. He stood 10 toes down and end up raising to the second in command. You want to change your life? You want to look, your minor setback is just your greatest comeback. That's it. You're going to have times where you go through things. You're going to have times where you're at the lowest of the low. You don't know how you're going to do it. But if you just have faith in the Most High and you raise up. And let me tell y'all something that's crazy about Joseph before we finish reading the story. And it's a long story. And for the sake of time, because I do want to read some stories about the sisters, we're going to move on after we read this part. But if in your own time, go back and read the whole story. The whole story is beautiful at the end. But it is trauma-filled, though. It is. But I'll say that to say the crazy thing about Joseph's story is that Joseph didn't even do nothing wicked. Some of us be deserving to be the beating. The crazy thing about Joseph is Joseph didn't even do anything wicked. There was no smut on his rep, and God still put him through that. Some of y'all be crying and you deserve it. You know what I mean? Like some of y'all be crying and y'all deserve it. Y'all deserve the whooping. Joseph didn't deserve that. I mean, he, in the sense of it was the Lord's plan, and we don't go against the Most High's will, but in sense of his sins and he didn't deserve it. He didn't, not like he was wicked. Joseph's story needs to be studied for you weaklings. And I don't say that in no pun intended. Joseph's story needs to be studied for you weaklings. You know, because Joseph did all of that, went through all of that trauma, rose to second in command in Potiphar's house. What happened? Read.
Verse 5. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house.
He was overseer of the house. Read.
And over all that he had,
the Lord built him up. Read.
That the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for the Joseph's sake.
He blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. The Lord, Joseph was such a righteous man that anything Joseph touched was going to be blessed. So the Potiphar's house got blessed because of Joseph. That's how righteous of a man Joseph was. Because Joseph still was a seer, he still was chosen. But remember, a man is not a man because he has the anatomy of a man. That's not a man. It's for my brothers. A man is not a man because he has the anatomy of a man. A man is a man because he does not fold under pressure and he does not fail to provide. A man of God is a man of God when no one's looking. Integrity, that's something I had to learn. A man of God is a man of integrity. He's going to do the right thing when no one's looking. A man of God is not just because you're a man. A man of God has tenacity and he's willing to go through anything. When people run, he stays. When people get weak, he's strong. When people get fragile, he's calm. Y'all ever seen one of those movies? Y'all ever seen one of those movies where like it's a scary movie, maybe a zombie movie or something like that, and everybody is frantic, but then you got that one man that's the leader and he the leader and he working it out and everybody follow him? Yeah, that's a man. Then you got the one man that's afraid and all that, and he pushing everybody out the way to feed him to the zombies before he get ate and running away and moving little kids out the way. That's not a man. That's a man in flesh, but ain't a man. A man stands bold, calmness. There's a stoicism about him. He's not easily rattled. He's not easily angered. Joseph strikes me as that type of man. Because the whole time, Joseph was a dreamer. He was a visionary. The whole time, you got to believe Joseph was thinking in his head, okay, I'm sold already. Wherever I go, I'm going to make the best out of it. And he did that. He didn't cry over the spilled milk. He didn't cry over the spilled milk. Some of y'all be crying over the spilled milk. Can't be a man. That's not the attribute of a man. To lose your composure and to get rattled and fragile and emotional. You got to be level-headed. You got to have a sense of level-headedness. You got to walk into where people don't even know what's going on in your life. You just still. That's what Joseph strikes me as. Stoic. Still going through what he got to go through, and he never denounced the Most High. He never denounced, no matter how hard it got for him, he never denounced the Most High. Look what happened. Read.
And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. Verse 6. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had.
He trusted Joseph so much, he didn't even know what he had. He didn't know how much money he had. He didn't know nothing. Joseph was the brain. Potiphar didn't even know anything. The business, no, you like, talk to Joseph. Potiphar, you want to, I don't know, talk to Joseph. Potiphar, we got these, to talk to Joseph. That's the type of man Joseph was. Joseph was, what's the word I'm looking for? Joseph was a high value man because Joseph was smart. Some of you, look, a man of God is smart, brothers, and that don't mean just smart. Learn from Joseph. That don't mean just smart in the Bible. That means smart in Esau's world. Joseph was a high value man. He was a man of value. A lot of y'all are not men of value because you play the games too much. You watch anime too much, and you watching movies too much, and you lazy, and you're just, you're just happy working your job that is paying you not that much. Joseph, on the other hand, was a visionary. Joseph, he not gonna stay at a low level too long. A spirit like Joseph, you gonna raise up to be at a high level. So, but here's the thing though. It ain't about. Here's the thing. You're only going to be successful when you run out of what's the word I'm looking for? Encouragement, or what is it when it's encouragement, but when you go
You run out of
not self-esteem, and it's encouragement when you run out of motivation. Yes. In order for you to be great, you got to work with no motivation. You have to, like, you can't be motivated. Don't look for motivation. It's not, motivation is not going to be there all the time. You got to do what's right with no motivation. You got to do what's right when you don't even know what's going to happen at the end. A lot of y'all be looking for motivation. Motivation is a curse. I'm being real with y'all. Motivation is a curse. You know why? Because you feel good for that 2 days. And then once the motivation is gone, you don't do nothing. It's like a crash. Yeah. And Joseph knew Joseph didn't work just off motivation. You ever met them brothers that be motivated for like a week? Like, dang, that brother motivated. Yeah, I mean, giving you prep talks. We got this. And then the next day, it's like he a whole different. The next week, he like a whole different person. Like, wasn't you just? Yeah, but I don't know now, man. I'm like, you toss to and fro. You gotta work. When you start researching and you get off the game and you get off the movies and all of that, and you start researching how to make money, now that's the easy part. Finding out ways to make money is the easy part. Learning the skill is the hard part. Learning the skill is the hard part. That's the hard part. When you have to actually learn the skill, because you're not gonna know. You're gonna be like, man, you're gonna have days where you want to give up. Nope, I'm gonna keep going. You're gonna have days where your attention is gonna take you, well, okay, this is a little too hard. Learn how to do this then. Well, no, you know what? Don't do that. Learn how to do this then. You know what? Go back to what you was. No, you gotta pick a discipline and stick to it. That's it. And don't stop. And that's the type of spirit that Joseph had. But bad things still happen. Look what happened with Joseph. Read.
Save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored.
He was a goodly person and he was well favored. Read.
And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph.
Because what comes with being that top cat is temptation. It's inevitable. I had to come to that realization. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I had to come to that realization. I was just went through a patch where I just didn't understand why I had to bear certain things. Like, I just wanted God to just remove it. Like, I wanted him to remove all of my things that I go through. I'm like, God, why you just can't just remove it? I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to behave in this way. So can you just remove it from me? Like, so I don't do it. But that's not how the Most High has things set up. Because what makes you that man is to overcome those things. Every single man has to go through some type of adversity. Sisters too. We're going to read one more about the sisters. Every man has to go through his own adversity, especially for men though. If you don't face adversity, you're not a man. That's the rite of passage. The rite of passage. And I didn't understand that. I didn't get that. The bigger the challenge for you, the bigger the beast you slay, that's the rite of passage. It's kind of like, here go my nerdness kicking in again, and my movie nerdness. But if y'all ever watched like The Predators, if y'all don't know what The Predators is, the old one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's the movie The Predator. And I think Danny Glover was in the second one, I think. But if you ever like know anything about the predators are a warrior race of like aliens that have to go and conquer the baddest prey, and the baddest prey that they conquer gives them the top status. It's their rite of passage, and they have to be willing to die facing the top prey to bring back their trophies, to show their status in their society. That's the same thing in this truth. The biggest battles you go through that you overcome, that gives you another different level of rites of passage that God can bless you with. Because Joseph was faithful with his father, then he was faithful with Potiphar, then he became faithful with the whole Egypt. But he had to go through that temptation, and the temptation is what makes you strong, because it builds discipline, it builds integrity, and it shows that you are a champion of heaven. So if you want to be a champion of heaven, you got to understand that all of heaven is watching you. And you got to be able to do right when no one's looking, and you're not doing it for people in vainglory. It's another thing I had to learn. It doesn't matter how many people pat you on the back. It's what God says to you behind closed doors. The scripture says when one soul is saved, the angels rejoice in heaven. So that means that heaven is watching you. So it's not about the battles that's being fought up front. It's about what's happening internal. That's the battleground. The battleground is eternal. And when you overcome those things, you want the applause of heaven. You don't want the applause of social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. You want the applause of heaven. You don't want the applause of your camp, your congregation. You want the applause of heaven. And in order to get that, you have to go through things. It's inevitable. It's impossible. The temptation has to be there. Let me get one scripture real quick. And we'll come back to this. Go to Sirach chapter 33. I gotta get to the sisters too. But let me read this. And read 33 and 1.
Gone. The book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 1.
Read.
There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord.
Even if evil is happening around you, there still shall be no evil happen to you that fears the Lord. Somebody might have been like, that didn't make sense. How is it that it says that there shall no evil happen unto him that fears the Lord, but then evil was happening unto Joseph, who feared the Lord? Because what you're not understanding is that the Lord is not bringing you through that to kill you. Look at what he did to Joseph. He rose Joseph to the second in command, and he was able to save his family. It was all a divine purpose. But let's say you do die. Scripture says it looks like his I'm paraphrasing. When you die, when a righteous dies, like it looks like it's misery, but it's not. For the Most High has delivered his soul. I think that's in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. The Lord has delivered his soul, meaning evil might touch you in this physical realm, but the evil that we are trying to escape is that after death. The Lord said, nah, go through what you got to go through, but no evil will harm you, because what's eternity to 80 years? What's eternity to 80 years? What's eternity to 80 years? Maybe you went through 80 years of pain, whatever. But what's eternity to 80 years? Sirach chapter 2 and 4. Absolutely. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art charged to a low estate. That's one of my go-tos. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. That's one of my go-tos. Brothers got to gird their loins up like men. Watch what it says. Finish off verse 1.
Gone. The book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 1.
Read.
There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord.
Read.
But in temptation, even again, he will deliver him.
But even in temptation, God will deliver you. So you know what? I'm tempted, but God will deliver you. Let's see what happened with Joseph. This is a direct reflection. Let's go back there. Genesis 39.
39 and 7.
Yeah. Read 7 when you got it.
Gone. The book of Genesis, chapter 39, verse 7.
Read.
And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph.
So you know what comes with being a man? Temptation. When you're a visionary and you the man like that, temptation gonna come. He gonna send that pretty woman to you that's married.
Right.
He gonna send a distraction to you. You got to be able to bob and weave the distraction. Everything you got to use Joseph's life as your blueprint to deal with your life. That's how you got to do it. What happened? Read.
And she said, lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand.
Read.
There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?
Because Joseph ultimately knew, I'm not sinning. I'm sinning against God if I do this wickedness. He had integrity to do good. Joseph is proven to be a champion. When we get to the heavens, Joseph is a champion. He's one of the elders. Joseph has proven himself. He has made it. He's made it. He didn't cry. Oh my gosh, he didn't, woe is me. He didn't get sad and pout and whine and have a fit. Joseph maintained integrity through the whole thing. And now he has his right. He's made it. You know, Hercules, he's went the distance. Y'all ever seen Hercules? Everybody's seen Hercules. He went the distance. He had to go and face trials and tribulations, and he did it. He won. He took his last breath in righteousness, and now he is with the Heavenly Father. That is priceless. But you gotta go through the fight. You gotta go through the fight. You get no. What's the use of the reward or the celebration if you went through nothing to get it? You went through nothing to get it. Joseph has now made it. And now we have to go through the same temptations Joseph went through with false brethren, with the heathen around us, with everything going on in our lives, losing a job, can't pay your rent, your wife left you, your kids left you, whatever it is, it's our turn now. So I take cheerfully what is going on in my life and around me, as you should, and put your head down. And it hurt. It do hurt. You can cry and have pain, but that pain shouldn't define you. You don't think Joseph cried? Of course he did. Of course he had feelings and pain. You know he had feelings and pain and he cried because when he, later in the story, he broke down. He literally broke down when he seen his brothers. So yeah, Joseph had feelings. You understand? Look what happened, read.
Verse 10, and it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her.
Day by day, she did not leave him alone.
Man, persistent.
Brothers, imagine you being tempted by a beautiful woman day by day to break God's commandments. Joseph still maintained his integrity. Read.
That he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her.
Read.
And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within.
Read.
And she caught him by his garment.
She was so inflamed with lust, she caught him by his garment, grabbed him up by his garment. Read.
Saying, lie with me.
Please lie with me, seductively, grabbing on him. Lie with me. What'd he do? Read.
And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out.
He took off his garment and got out of there. He ran. That's how you got to run from temptation. Out of there. Don't flirt with it, brothers. Don't flirt with it. Sisters, don't flirt with it. Run as fast as you can. As soon as the thought get in there, run. It's easier said than done, but you got to do it, because if you flirt with it for a second, you're going to fall. Joseph got out of there. Read.
Verse 13, and it came to pass when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand,
Read.
And was fled forth, that she called unto all the men of her house, and spake unto them, saying, see, he hath brought in an Hebrew unto us to mock us.
Then she lied on him. Lied on him. Do you know Joseph could have died? Do you know that? Do you know that? Joseph could have died. She lied on this man. See, you don't know pain. Joseph just got sold by the hands of his brothers into slavery. Joseph been hated on since he been a kid. Joseph can't seem to catch a break. But God always uplifts him. Look what happened, read.
He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice.
Read.
And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried,
Read.
that he left his garment with me and
Read.
fled
Mhm.
and got him out.
Mm-hmm.
And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home.
Mm-hmm.
And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me.
And all of that, you think the Potiphar gonna believe Joseph over his wife? Nah, he gonna take his wife opinions over Joseph. What happened? What did they do to Joseph? Read.
And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out.
Mhm.
And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which he spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, and a place where the king's prisoners were bound. And he was there in the prison.
Took him and put him in jail. So Joseph went from the favorite of his father to hated of his brother to sold into slavery to the favorite of Potiphar to now at the lowest of the low in jail, falsely accused of rape. You don't know pain. You know what that does to a man's mind when he's falsely in prison? And do you guys know how long Joseph was falsely? He was in prison for 2 years. Can you imagine that? You haven't done nothing wrong. You've been righteous. You've been keeping God's commandments. For you to get sold by your brothers who hate you, to then raise up to a status of nobility, to get lied on by a woman, and to get thrown into prison for 2 years for false accusations.
Yeah, that's and you could tell the Lord was still with him, because can you imagine, like, someone like your wife is telling you this man, raped her, and he just simply just threw her in prison? Like, he could have killed her.
Yeah, for sure. And the Lord was still with him in that regard.
Yeah,
because he could have killed him. But see, that was the mercy of the Lord. But just imagine that mental trauma. Because read verse 21 to your point.
Verse 21, but the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
No matter what place Joseph was in, he always found a way to get some type of favor. Whether he was in prison. Joseph been to jail, y'all.
That's crazy. For no reason.
Joseph been to jail, man. Didn't even do anything. Meanwhile, his brothers, Judah and them, they still doing what they doing, and he in jail for something he didn't even do. But everywhere he went, he had mercy. Read.
Verse 22. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison.
And no matter where Joseph went, he always rose up to leadership. Read.
And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper.
You see that? Joseph, no matter where Joseph went, Joseph was always risen up because he was still a value man. See, it's not about the money you make, or it's a saying, if you teach a man how to, if you give a man a fish, he'll go hungry again. But if you teach a man how to fish, he'll never go hungry again. Joseph maintained his integrity. He maintained his wisdom. He maintained his value and his smartness inside of him. So he, no matter where he went, he was always going to raise to providence. So you're not defined by your circumstances. You define your circumstances, no matter what circumstance you're in. Look it. Let's read Genesis 40:1.
Gone. The book of Genesis, chapter 40, verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison.
So Joseph is in prison. We already know about the dreams. Let's get to the point. I want to show y'all how long he stayed there, though. Go to chapter 41, verse 1. Read.
Book of Genesis, chapter 41, verse 1.
Yep.
And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years.
So Joseph was in jail for 2 full years that we can relate, that we can know of in the scriptures. Could have been longer, but what we have is we know for a fact 2 full years transpired. Joseph locked up for 2 years of his life gone. See that? 2 full years, this man. Now, go back and read the full story. Go read, you want to read from all the way to 45, chapter 45. So you can start from 42 to 45 and read the whole story about Joseph. For the sake of time, we're not going to do it right now, but he still maintained his integrity, and he ended up rising to be the second in command in Egypt and initially and saving his family. But you don't know pain. You ain't being falsely accused and locked in prison. There's somebody right now in prison that's falsely accused, and you mad at a 1-bedroom you land in. You mad at a 1-bedroom that you land in. It's what's the Central Park 5 in New York or something like that? I think it's the Central Park 5. I could be saying it wrong. Y'all ever seen the boys that got locked up because the white lady said that they raped her or whatever, and they got little teenage boys or kids got locked up for years? It's on Netflix. You ain't been through that, brother. Stop crying. Stop crying. Get up. Stop being I ain't gonna say that word, but stop crying. Stop crying because you ain't got a job. Get you one then. Stop crying because you ain't got an apartment. Get you one then. Stop crying because your bills ain't paid. Get you a better job and pay them then. But stop crying. Be a man. Learn from our forefathers. You ain't going through half of the stuff that people today go through and what our forefathers is going through to be crying this much. Israel. Men and women alike. Let's go to Susanna real quick. I gotta read Susanna. Put 7s in the chat if the sisters ever read Susanna. Put 7s in the chat. You come from greatness, brothers. You come from greatness. You come. Your forefather is Joseph. You got the same blood he got. You come from greatness, brothers. Stop crying and whining. Be great. This right here should encourage you. You got the same DNA that your forefathers had in you, but you choose not to use it. You got the same DNA that your forefathers have, but you choose not to use it. Same DNA. You choose to be a bum in this walk. You don't give your all to the Most High because it's always woe is me. Stop complaining. Be a man. Gird your loins up. So what? Oh, they leaving. They did this. They did that. So what? Serve the Father. Get to work. Sisters, you too. Sisters, you too. We're going to read about Susanna. One of my go-tos to read about with sisters. Abigail is one of them too. Abigail, Susanna, Judith, Esther, not Naomi, what's her name? I cannot think of her name. Not Ruth. Dang, I cannot think of her name. Not the woman with the 7 children. She was with the captain. She's in the book of Judges. What's her name? Sisters, tell me her name. What's the sister? Deborah. Yes, Deborah. Y'all gotta go back and read about these sisters. Put sisters to shame. Gotta go back and read about these sisters. Deborah, Susanna, Judith, You know what I mean? All these powerful sisters in the scriptures that y'all come from. And y'all be tripping off. And sisters, I gotta be real, y'all be tripping off of little stuff too. Little stuff. I don't want to wear pants. I want to wear pants. My husband, all he does is do the works. He don't spend time with me. Not saying, brothers, you shouldn't spend time with your wives. You should. But sisters, you got to understand it ain't all about you all the time. My husband wants another wife. Oh, he belongs to me. How could he want another wife? Like, sisters be complaining about stuff that's weak too. I'm just being honest. I just gotta be real, man. I just have to. Like, you ain't about to die. Like, you don't gotta wake up to a slave master that's gonna beat your back in with a whip if you don't lay with him. Like, y'all don't think about that. Like, you don't have to be like that. Like, you don't have to. Your life is not hard. Especially if you have a man that love you. Your life is not hard. Compared. And I already know I got somebody on the screen. Well, yeah, it might not be hard to you, but hard is subjective to everybody that's hard. Man, shut up. Hard is subjective. Hard is subjective to that brother don't know what he's talking about. Hard is subjective to people that go through what they go through. That's hard. Shut up. No, hard is not subjective. It's not hard. Go get hard. You soft. You weak. You weak. Like, I'm tired of the weak. Like, oh my gosh. I don't want no weak brothers around me, man. I'm just being honest. I can't tolerate weak brothers. I can't. And sisters, I can't. If you weak, stay away from me. I can't tolerate weakness. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have moments of sadness and things of that nature. But get up. Stop being, I don't want nobody stand there. Like, if I got to give you 10 prep talks, 5 prep talks out the month, then I don't got time. Brother, I got to give myself a prep talk too. I don't got time to be giving brothers 5 and 6 prep talks. Every week I gotta give you a prep talk to encourage you. I don't have time for that. I got a whole family and a camp to lead. If you can't give yourself a prep talk, and it's for brothers and sisters, I don't have time. Yes, we're gonna have councils. Yes, we're gonna talk about things. Yes, we're gonna go through, but it's gonna come a time where you gotta face your own things, man. It gotta come a time where you gotta look yourself in the mirror and you gotta pull up your pants, man. And you know, for the women, you know, you gotta let down your skirt. Or not even gird your loins up with a manly stomach too, sisters. Gird yourselves up. The woman with the 7 sons. We might just need to read that one, but I love Susanna. But the woman with the 7 sons, she gave a person in the book of the Maccabees. We might have to go. Y'all want to read? I'm gonna let the sisters decide. Y'all want to read about sisters? Y'all want to read Susanna, or y'all want to read the 7 sons to close it out? You never read the 7 sons? What y'all want to do, sisters? Put 7 sons or put Susanna? Which one do y'all want to read about? 7 sons, or Susanna? Cause y'all gotta get some. Y'all gotta get some courage, man. All right, 7 sons it is. And you know what's so crazy? Y'all ever seen y'all know me, I'm always bringing up movies. Y'all ever seen what's that movie with Dorothy? What's that movie? Wizard of Oz. You ever seen the Wizard of Oz? Yeah, the lion, right? The lion he had no courage. He was scary. But at the end of the movie, you see that courage was given to the lion, not because he wasn't afraid. It was because even though he was afraid throughout the course of the movie, he still overcame his fear. He fought with his fear. That was the thing with the lion. He was a fearful cat. But the point was, even in his fear, he still, scared and all, tried to save Dorothy. That's how y'all gotta be. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to feel fear. Those things are human emotions. We all gonna feel them. It's okay to be sad. But do you still get up when you sad? Or do you still get up when you lack courage? Do you still face it when you're afraid? That's the determining factor. You can't say you have courage if you never felt fear, because courage can only come from fear. You can't have courage unless you have fear, because then it's not courage. Y'all got to get some courage. Where's that at in Maccabees? I know a second. Let me see. Second Maccabees 7. Let's see. I gotta get up, man. Y'all gotta do better, man. It's too weak. Too much weakness. Yeah, 7:1. Let's read this.
The book of Second Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh.
It was 7 brothers and their mother was taken. This is Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. 7 brothers and their mother was taken, and the king compelled them to eat swine's flesh. Read.
And were tormented with scourges and whips.
You not being tormented. So why are you crying? You're not being tormented with scourges and whips. We're going to see the details. Read.
But one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us?
Read.
We are ready to die.
One of the brothers said, we are ready to die for the truth, for this work, for the law, for the Most High. Read.
Rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers.
Read.
Then the king, being enraged, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot.
So he heated up. He said, what? He heated up pans. Imagine big skillets. Y'all know them old cast iron skillets?
Yeah, them heavy.
Them heavy. Remember that? Y'all don't know the ghetto. Y'all remember them old cast iron skillets? My grandma still got her old cast iron skillet. Imagine a big old cast iron skillet being heated up, getting ready to toss your body on there to get cooked like eggs. You don't know pain. You think you know pain, but you don't know pain. You don't know pain. You don't know grief. Imagine watching your brother go through that. Read, watch this, read.
Verse 4, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first.
And then before you get thrown, I'm going to cut your tongue off. Imagine seeing your brother get his tongue cut off. Before I toss you in this skillet, I'm going to cut your tongue off. Read.
And to cut off the utmost parts of his body.
And the utmost parts of his body. What's the utmost parts of his body? His testicles. Cutting up off his hands, his feet, his toes. Before they even throw him in the skillet, they're going to cut him up. Read.
The rest of his brethren and his mother looking on.
And his family had to look at that. Imagine looking at your brother go through that. You don't know pain. You don't know trauma in this regard. Be happy you breathing. Be happy you can get up. Be happy you got a school to go to every day. Be happy you can kiss your kids. Be happy you can kiss your wives. Be happy you can hug your husband. Be happy with the little things. A lot of y'all don't pay attention to the things that you not getting tormented. You ain't got to wake up in the morning and see your son and your daughters tormented at this time. All praises. You don't get a most high power. You don't get a most high love and praise for that. Because you soft. So his brothers is looking on. Read.
Verse 5. Now, when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire, and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus.
They said, even the mom, she didn't get weak. She didn't say, oh, my sons, please, you know what? Let's reconsider. Manfully, even the mother, manfully, after they seen their brother and her son get cooked alive, cut up into pieces, they manfully stood up. The mom and the sons. What you complaining about? You have nothing to complain about. Your life is not that bad. I got news flash for you. Your life is not that bad. It's not. You ain't going through this. So what you complaining about and sad about in your life? Look what happened. Read.
Verse 6. The Lord God looketh upon us, and in truth hath comfort in us.
Because they still never blamed God, never doubted God. They said, hey, we got to die. We got to die. We got to gird ourselves up. We got to die. Some of y'all be ready to give up the ghost. I'll be looking at people in the feast and y'all be ready to give up the ghost for what? You ain't going through nothing. You ever seen a person at the feast in the corner looking sad? For what? What you sad for? Did you just get maimed?
Right.
Did your tongue just get cut out? Like what just happened to you? Why are you in the corner sad at the Lord's feast?
Trying to ruin everyone else's vibe.
Trying to ruin everybody else's energy because you don't get your way. Pout like a baby because you don't get your way. Losing faith. For what? What? Did you get maimed? Did your child die? What happened? Then, okay, maybe then I can say, okay, the brother just got maimed. That's why he's sad. He just lost his child. Like, none of that happened to you. If you didn't die, family member, something, it's no reason for you to be walking around sad, about to give up the ghost. There's no reason. You should be happy. These people about to die. Look, let's keep reading. Read.
As Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants.
Read.
So when the first was dead after this manner,
Read.
they brought the second to make him a mocking stock.
Then they took the second to make him a mocking stock. Read.
And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with their hair.
You ain't got scalped. They didn't pull the skin off your head with your hair, scalped your skull. What you mad for? Brothers be mad. Rata didn't say my video was good. And I feel not seen. Shut up. I don't get the recognition. Did you get your hair scalped? You crying over that? Sister, bake cookies for the camp. Nobody said nothing about the cookies. Now she mad. Oh, I baked cookies for the camp and no one said anything about my cookies. Now I'm mad at everybody because they said something about her cookies, but they didn't say nothing about my cookies. And now I'm mad. I got to leave the camp. Like that. Like, what are we talking about? Did you just get your tongue cut out? Like, I'm tired of like weak. Like, y'all need to read your word. You can tell by the courage of a man or a sister because y'all don't be reading y'all Bible. And you think the world revolves around you. It doesn't. Everybody is going through pain. Everybody is going through trauma. Everybody is sick. And we still show up. You know what's funny? Crazy thing is you can't serve the Lord because you sick. Or you can't serve the Lord because some type of ailment, but you go to work. every single day for the white man, but you can't serve, you can't do nothing for the Most High because you sick. Oh, brothers, I can't make it. I'm sick. Oh, since I came in, I'm sick. I'm like, brothers, how many times can we be sick a month? Like, and it's just the truth. Like, it's just weakness all across the board. Just weak. And I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Straight weakness. Can't give your best for the Lord because it's not really that you sick. It's just that it's something in you that you're not getting, some type of recognition you're not getting, or something that some type of a schism, and now you gotta figure out a reason to not do what you want to do because this is your way to punish the church, or in your mind, well, I ain't doing that because if they ain't gonna recognize me for that, then I ain't gonna do that. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Rata loves everybody. I do. I love my camp. I love the people. I love all of y'all. But I'm gonna be honest. At the point of where I'm going in my life, I don't have time for weak. So if you are weak, you're just gonna have to scoot over. And that's for anybody, everybody. Where I'm going, it requires you to be mental strong. And if you're not that, then you might have to scoot over a little bit. We cannot be weak. And that's just for anything. When I get online and I see people complaining on Facebook, I see people complaining on Instagram, complaining about weak stuff. What are you complaining for? Why? Brothers complaining about the camp they left. Sisters complaining about the camp they left. Everybody complaining. And then some of the complaints, it just be minuscule. It's not even, you didn't get your head scalped. Somebody didn't come and cut your brain out. So what are you crying for? Read. Let's keep reading. Watch, read.
They asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body? But he answered in his own language and said, no. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order, as the former did.
He still maintained his chastity. Somebody said, I'm on a cleaning crew at church. I tell myself I'm cleaning the toilets as if the Most High about to sit on them. That's what I'm talking about.
God, wow.
That's the type of faith and love. I'm cleaning crew at the church. You tell yourself I'm about to clean this toilet like the Most High is about to sit on it. You got people can't even show up on time to lift a chair in camps. It's just weak. This man right here literally took those ailments in his body, got scalped and all that. Let's keep reading.
Verse 9. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou like a fury takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws.
And even if we die, the King of this world is going to raise us up. Even if we die, the King of this world is going to raise us up. They took death to the face. And some of y'all in y'all prospective camps, y'all can't even work for your camp. You can't even give your best for your brothers. You can't even give your best for your sisters. You can't even get a best for the Most High because of your own insecurities, your own weakness. Y'all couldn't be disciples of Christ. Y'all couldn't be the 12 disciples. It said Christ was so assured they were scared to ask him questions. That weakness, it's a virus. And that's why the Most High, I gotta bring this out real quick. That's why the Most High said this. I gotta bring this out real quick. We're gonna come back. It's in Deuteronomy 20. Yeah. We'll come back to Maccabees real quick. Deuteronomy 20. Look at what the Bible say. The Bible a real book, man. It is what it is. Look at what the Bible say. Deuteronomy chapter 20. And read verse Read verse 1.
Con, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verse 1. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them.
Be not afraid of them. What did the Most High tell the soldiers that were afraid? Read verse 8.
Verse 8. And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted?
Who's scary and faint-hearted? What man is there that's fearful and faint-hearted? This the law. Anybody scared? You faint-hearted? You scared? Which one of y'all scared and faint-hearted? What'd he say? Read.
Let him go and return unto his horse.
Go home. If you scared, go home. This is what the soldiers in Israel, if you scared, go home. Why? Because fear is infectious. You got one person scary, he gonna infect the whole camp. Go home. If you scared, go home. If you faint-hearted, go home. We don't need that. And we ain't even going to war. We just trying to get the kingdom together. But this is the type of energy. God is a man of war. He ain't. Keep reading. Finish it.
Lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that
He
they
says, unless, that's all I need.
God.
Said, man, if you scared, go home. Brothers, some of y'all wouldn't be in David's army. We be reading about David, and sometimes we be thinking we might be. Y'all wouldn't last in David's army. You wouldn't last with David. Y'all be sometimes brothers be reading these stories and be like, I'm a mighty man. You would not last because you can't take correction, or your wife controls you. You for sure couldn't be in David's army. Wife control everything you do. Fearful, faint-hearted, sad, kind of grown man mope around. You couldn't be in David's army. You wouldn't last. And if this is anybody out there, don't be emotional. Take it on the chin and say, you know what, you're right. I gotta gird myself up like a man now. Because I got some people probably watching this right now. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm a man. I don't care about. Y'all getting emotional right now. Can't even take a man talking to you directly. Sisters, you too. Because let's go back to the Maccabees, 2 Maccabees 7.
God.
This is real, man. Like, we don't got time for weakness in the nation, man. We don't got time for the weakness, man. Donovan said we not cut from the same cloth as our ancestors. That's true. It got 50-50. It's truth to what you said, and it's the other way around too. You are cut from the same cloth as your ancestors. You got the same blood that they got in you. It's if you choose to be like them. It's your choice. You have a choice. Everybody has a choice to serve and get a Lord hit their all.
Right. Stop being a victim.
Yeah, the victim mentality and all that. You have the choice to give the Lord your all. You are choosing not to be cut from the same cloth as your ancestors. So you are right. That is true. But it's 50-50. It's true. Two things can be right at the same time. You got the heart of your forefathers and the blood of your forefathers beating in you. Gird up your loins like a man. Watch what it says. Let's go back. Let's read. Where was he at?
Oh, verse 9.
Yeah, read.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 9. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou like a fury takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life.
Read 10.
After him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue.
Cut off his tongue too. Read.
And that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully.
He just got his tongue cut off, and then he gave him his hand. That's how manfully. He just got his tongue cut off, and then he put his hand out manfully. Here you go. Take it. What kind of mentality? kind of mentality?
Give up your hand.
You talk about Kobe mentality. I want the 7 son mentality. Forget the Kobe mentality. I want the 7 son mentality. Kobe mentality. What about the 7 son mentality?
Kobe not putting out his hands like that.
Kobe was a different beast. He might have,
Yep,
depending on what it is. But the
Might be
point
right.
is, put his hand out manfully. He gave it to him. Here you go. After you just got your tongue cut off. Weakness. Watch, keep reading. Read.
Verse 11, and said courageously, these I had from heaven,
And this is what he said. He said, man, I got these from heaven. Read.
and for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again.
And he said, look, and for the laws, I despise this. So go ahead and take it. Take it, because I despise this hand for the laws. And I hope in the kingdom I receive them again. That's faith. You might not get recognized. You might not get the recognition, but heaven is watching. We doing this for heaven, y'all. We ain't doing this for recognition of people. We doing this for heaven, y'all. We doing this for heaven. That's what we doing this for. Man and woman alike. Read. Watch this. Read.
Verse 12, insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage.
They was marvel, like, what the? They were perplexed, like, the heck this? They was confused. What kind of dude is this? Read.
For that he nothing regarded the pains.
He didn't even, when they was cutting, he didn't even regard. He sat there and didn't squeal, didn't squeamish. He sat there while they were cutting him up and didn't even regard the pain. We crying because we lost a job. Can't take off work for the Sabbath. What you whining for? What's your life like? What's your life about? What you crying about? What you sad about? Did you just stick out your hand manly and get it cut off? Let's keep reading. Watch this. Read.
Verse 13. Now when this man's was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner.
Read.
So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good, being put to death by men, to look for hope from God to be raised up again by him.
Man, what kind of mentality? It is good for us to die by men and hope we get raised up. And hope for it. They didn't know if they was gonna get raised up or not. They still said we hope for it, but if not, we still die for the Most High. Watch this. Read.
As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
That's how you know it ain't no regenerated in the kingdom. Ain't none of that. Ain't gonna be no resurrection back into life for this damn devil. That's why we can't give them salvation. Don't even make sense. He like, look, I'm gonna die, but you in the resurrection, you gonna be through.
That's tough.
Manfully. Watch this. Read.
Afterward, they brought the fifth also and mangled him. Then looked he unto the king and said, thou hast power over men. Thou art corruptible. Thou doest what thou wilt. Yet think not that our nation is forsaken of God, but abide a while, and behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed.
He said, you're going to get tormented and your seed's going to get tormented. This is all before they get mangled, what they saying to the king. Read on.
After him also they brought the sixth, who being ready to die said, be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our God. Therefore marvelous things are done unto us. But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against God, that thou shalt escape unpunished.
So every single one of her sons died manfully. Now we get to the star of the show. The star of the show, which is the sister. What kind of woman is this? What kind of husband did she have? What kind of father did these sons have? Because obviously he was dead. Because you don't have no weak father with sons like this and a wife like this on that. Look at what this woman says. Sisters, you ain't got to be weak. Who said that? You could be strong, courageous. stand up for truth. Yeah, the scriptures say, "Oh, weaker vessel, but no, that doesn't have to be you. The scripture says we got sin in our body too, but do we have to sin? No, you don't have to be the weaker vessel. You don't have to be that. You can be a strong woman of the Most High. Look at what she went through. Read.
Verse 20, but the mother was marvelous above all
her sons. Read.
and worthy of honorable memory.
And worthy of honorable memory. Read.
For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day.
She seen, so this wasn't like an hour, this was a day process. She seen all her sons killed. Mothers, could you stomach seeing your sons killed in front of you? And not only that, what did she say? Read.
She bare it with a good courage because of the hope that she had in the Lord. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language.
She spoke to them in Hebrew. And what did she exhort them to do? Read.
Filled with courageous spirit.
Her spirit was courageous when she spoke. Read.
And stirring up her womanish thoughts.
And she took those womanish thoughts that women be having. Those womanish thoughts, she stirred them up. And what she do? Read.
With a manly stomach.
With a manly stomach. If she can stir up her womanly thoughts of seeing her sons die, which is understandable to be weak in that moment. But if she can stir up her womanly spirit watching her sons die, sisters, it ain't nothing that you should be sad about in the sense of if you have a righteous husband. Gird your womanly emotions up. It ain't nothing wrong with you, sis. It ain't nothing wrong with you. You got a house. You got a car. Your husband come home to you. He don't abuse you. He don't beat you. He not threatening your life. He not choking you out. He not fornicating. He not bringing home STDs. He not doing none of that. What are you mad about? What are you mad about? Gird yourself up. Now, for the sisters that's going through that out there, you got stories like Abigail, which we're not going to read tonight. You need to go read about Abigail and look at what happened to her wicked husband, and she still maintained righteousness. Susanna, falsely accused by wicked men, still maintained righteousness. So even if you do got a wicked husband, you still got stories of your foremothers abstaining themselves in a righteous spirit. What's your excuse? Because let's see what this woman was going to do. Read.
She said unto them, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life.
Look at that. You know, I gave you life. Well, life come from the woman. I gave you, she like, that ain't even in her mind. That's a wicked thought in her. She like, I didn't even give you breath or life. You don't belong to me. That's the mind of a woman of God. She's like, you don't even belong to me. I didn't give you breath and I didn't give you life. Read.
Neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you.
I didn't. Look at her pride being loosed. You know, because women got that pride. We give life. You know, the women, we give life. We keep the babies. We breathe you life. We created man. We did that. Look at what she said. She said, I didn't give you life either. Read.
Verse 23, but doubtless the creator of the world.
But the Most High. Read.
Who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again.
You see that? She like, man, die manfully. God will give you breath and life again. Read.
As ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. Now Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech.
So Antiochus watching all this, the evil bastard, he like, wait, I know they saying something that's reproachful unto me. What'd he do? Read.
Whilst the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and a happy man.
See, that's another thing about you brothers, man. Y'all want to be happy too much. Stop trying to be happy. It ain't about your happiness. Let me tell y'all something. For the man and the woman that's watching, life is not about making you happy. Life is not about you being happy. Don't believe that American hoopla. Oh, just gotta be happy. That's that docileness, Hey, I don't want no, the men that be like, I don't want no trouble. I just go to work and then I don't want to be no trouble. Just do my job, go home and enjoy my basketball, football. I'm happy. That's the problem with you. You want to be happy. Life is not about being happy. Life is about the commandments of God. That's what life is about. Life is not about being happy. So Antiochus, while the mother is speaking these words, he tell the young man that's still alive, hey man, look, bro, I'll give you money, I'll give you all that, you'll be straight. Man, come on, just don't die, man. Just don't die. It's okay. I got you, bro. Your brothers already didn't die. Just come on. That's what Antiochus tell him. I'm gonna make you rich and I'm gonna make you happy. Read.
If he would turn from the laws of his fathers,
Mm-hmm.
and that also he would take him for his friend.
He like, look, I'm gonna make you my friend. You ain't gotta go through none of this torment. I got you. Your brothers already didn't died. I'll make you my friend. Wow. Why you want to go through this? Just forsake the laws of your fathers. It's okay. Read. Be happy. Read.
And trust him with affairs.
Uh-huh.
But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life.
At this time, Antiochus like, what the heck? Look, please, y'all. I'm trying to say this dude. I don't want to kill him. Bring his mom. Look, mom, can you tell? I'm about to kill him and you. Y'all, can you just please tell him to listen to me? That's what people tell you in the world. It's okay. Why are you taking off on the Sabbath? Why you can't work on the Saturday? Why you can't do that? That don't sound like God. Why you doing that? Would God want all that pain on you and all that? Yes, he would. God do want all that pain on me to choose him. I don't think you serve a God that I don't know. Yeah, because you serve a God that you think is supposed to make you happy. God is not supposed to make you happy. He's testing you. He told the mom, he's like, look, man, just come, man. We ain't got to do all this. Like, I got you. Like, I'll make you my friend and in my affairs and money and food and water. And come on, man, you ain't got to die. Read.
Verse 26. And when he had extorted and when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son.
So the mom, like, you know what? All right, king, take me to my son. I'll give him counsel. The king, like, okay, thank you. Bring her to her son. Let her talk to her son. He like, thank you. Talk some sense into your son before he die. What's gonna happen? Read.
Verse 27. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn.
She laughing at him. What kind of woman? She just seen her sons die. She has an opportunity to talk some sense into the last one, and she laughing. You don't know pain. That's almost like psychotic and sadistic in a way. She laughing him to scorn. Some of y'all cry when y'all can't pay y'all Netflix bill. Some of y'all giving up the ghost when you can't pay for your streaming apps. Some of y'all about to give up the ghost because y'all can't eat where y'all like to eat. Y'all weak. I'm weak. But I move with the weakness. It's okay. Even when I'm weak and I'm sad and I'm afraid, I'm still going to do what I need to do. What she say? Read.
Spake in her country language on this manner. O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee suck 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that God made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren.
She said, take your death, that I may receive you again. That's power. That's strength. Look up into the heavens and the skies and look at what the Creator gave, where life, we not subjugated to these things. And I thank the Most High that we not. I thank the Most High that we not faced with death like this. So since we're not faced with death like this at this time, God forbid, but if it's His will, why are we crying over things that are meaningless? Sad about things that are meaningless. You ain't got to face this type of torment. You ain't even got to face what Joseph went through, let alone what she and her 7 sons endured. Let's finish it. Read.
Verse 30. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses. And thou that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hands of God.
He like, what you waiting for? I'm not about to bow down. Come on, let's get this going. Hey, chop. Let's get this rocking. Come on. What you waiting for? Let's get this going. We not about to bow down. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. You wasting your words. Man.
Powerful.
This your first time reading it, huh?
Yeah, this is my first time. Wow.
Man, y'all need to read this every time you get weak over something stupid. It's ridiculous, man. Like the faith that they display just make us look like nothing. I mean, what are we really faced with right now at this time? Keep reading.
Verse 32, for we suffer because of our sins. And though the living Lord be angry with us a little, while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants. But thou, O godless man, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of God.
This is what he's telling the king to his face. The king, you know how prideful Esau is. He telling this to the most prideful Edomite in history, Antiochus. To his face. You know you can't tell Esau nothing like that. Told him to his face. You know how mad you are because you want to be happy. You want to hear him screaming and crying, please. The king couldn't even be happy killing him because they took that joy away from him because they took it with a manly stomach. Watch, read.
Verse 35, for thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of Almighty God, who seeth all things. For our brethren, who now have suffered a short pain, are dead under God's covenant of everlasting life.
Read.
But thou, through the judgment of God, shall receive just punishment for thy pride. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching God that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that he alone is God, and that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon all our nation, may cease.
He told him to his face, do what you got to do. You gonna die anyway. When the Most High come back, I'll die for my nation right now, and let's get this going. Beautiful statement. After the mother laughed and said, man, son, die like a man, like your brothers. Brother said, I feel soft. I ain't gonna, they made him feel soft. Yeah, they made him feel soft. And he got it the worst. Read verse 39.
Verse 39. Then the king, being in a rage, handled him worse than all the rest, and took it grievously that he was mocked. So this man died undefiled and put his whole trust in the Lord. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and the extreme tortures.
Man, what are we tripping about? What are we complaining about? What are we sad about? You think you know pain, but you don't. You don't. Gird your loins up like a man, and that's women and men. Get it together. Your life is not that bad. with that being said, we at the 3 hour mark. Appreciate everybody logging in. If anybody wants to get in contact with us, please email us. I did see a brother say he emailed, and we didn't get back to him, and I received his email. If you're still watching, King, I'm gonna email you back, and we can exchange contacts and probably give you a call tomorrow. My brother, Donovan, I seen you on there. All praise to the brother and the new prospects. Wanting to join the camp. It's a beautiful thing. Shout out to all of the virtuous women and the sisters on the platform, in the chat. We love y'all. We need y'all, more than ever. You guys are our pillars, and we need y'all strong too. We're nothing without y'all. We're nothing without each other. Brothers, man, y'all make sure y'all gird y'all loins up like a man. Don't be fearful, man, and sad and all of that. Brothers got to be stronger. Brothers got to be tougher, man. I can. It's only so much of sympathy I can give before I have to tell you, like, brother, pull your pants up or go to bed. Like, I don't have anything else to say. You know what I mean? And but I do love you guys. I love everybody. I'm not perfect either. I'm striving for masteries just like everybody, and we trying to get this kingdom ultimately. It's not about a camp. It's not about a name in Israel. It's not about none of that. It's about keeping the commandments of the Most High God and trying to do the best that we could do, like our forefathers did before us. So, with that being said, I love y'all. Shabbat shalom. Peace and blessings to everybody. And we'll see y'all back here tomorrow for 4:30 class, Most High willing. Most High in Christ bless. Shalom, family. All praise. Let me see. I might have to hold on 1 second. Might have to restart this.